Hello, welcome back to Dice and Dudes and the start of our next campaign, The Guns of Erroll. Sorry about the week delay, had some exigent circumstances come up, but I'm doing a little bit better enough to hopefully talk for a few hours without my face just exploding on me, but we're going to do our best here. Thank you all very, very much for joining us tonight. I hope you all guys have as much fun with this as we're about to in the new homebrew setting, the new homebrew world with all new party, all new characters, and even new seating and a new camera setup. I hope you guys enjoy that. We do have a lot more changes coming up here very, very soon. You guys will be seeing those as we kind of trickle them out. We didn't want to do everything all at once. That's just a little too much, so we're going to be trickling them out. A little bit here, a little bit there. We are, as always, brought to you by a few different sponsors tonight. But as always, we're brought to you by David's Towels and Terrain. Now, he doesn't have anything to announce this week because he, being me, had a problem and I'm not able to do anything for the next week or so. So I'll be back to painting and building things here within the next couple of days when my hands steady out. Once I'm off the medication. The medication is making me a lot too jittery.
He kicked 6 people's asses. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
Yeah, sure. But hopefully once the meds are on their course, I can get back to it, so that way I can go back to posting stuff on David's House and Terrain, Instagram, and all that good stuff. Show you guys a lot more of the new stuff that I'm building for this upcoming campaign. Get you guys some ideas. If we get to it tonight, you might see some new stuff. But we are also brought to you by our friends at Game Vault. Sonia?
I'm wearing the lovely shirt from our lovely sponsors at Game Vault. Thank you, Lindy. So Game Vault does have, of course, their regular weekly events, which you can check out on their Facebook or their website, gamevault.com. And they also have that Pokemon pre-release, which is going to be for that Unified Minds. And that'll be on the 25th and the 27th, so please go check them out.
You too. It's going to be cool.
Awesomeness.
We're also brought to you tonight by Military Gamer Supply. We got a couple announcements for them too. Vince.
Alright guys, come check out Standard Showdown Fridays and Saturdays at Military Gamer Supply. August 10th we're going to have a RTT tournament for Warhammer 40k. That's something you want to come check out if you play Warhammer. Open gaming any day that ends in Y, and you can check out the website for any deals they've got going on right now, militarygamersupply.com.
Alright. Now, as you guys have noticed, we've tried to step up our production quality just a little bit this time around. We're not able to compete with the big boys, but, we're slowly getting there and still trying to keep it as a friendly game for us. I mean, we like doing the extra stuff, putting in the extra effort so you guys can see our game, but we play D&D for us. We're friends. We like playing D&D together. That's why we do it. But we went ahead and got ourselves a official artist for our stream that has currently done all the art that you guys will be seeing all over our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, and even on the stream itself. Kyle, as our art representative.
All right.
What we got?
Well, as David said, our lovely artist is responsible for all of our beautiful artwork. Her name is Beatrice, and you can find her on Facebook at Beta. Just search Beta, B-E-T-A, on Facebook, and Bapjart on Instagram, B-A-P-J-A-R-T.
That's right. Definitely check out her stuff. We love you so much, Beatrice. We all love our character portraits. I mean, we love our characters. So good. We're plastering it everywhere. I mean, we're taking the posters and we're putting them up in game stores and all that good stuff. I mean, we're plastering it everywhere that we can because we absolutely love the art. We thank you so much, Beatrice. We love you so much. We have a lot more work coming your way. I hope you're ready for it. We also have our local bearded gentleman, Paul, running. What are you running this coming week?
Well, currently I'm running a 5th edition Shadowrun campaign at Game Vault every Friday night, starting at 6. I'm usually there at 5 to set up. But this Friday we're going to be exploring the beginner box for Shadowrun 6th edition.
Very cool.
Ooh.
Very nice. I may have to jump in on that, see how that goes.
That should be fun.
That's gonna be cool. Like the new art style, they've definitely gone like Cyberpunk 2077 with it. Very neon, lots of bright colors, but it looks really cool. I'm excited for some of the changes and see maybe they can streamline it just a little bit, make it a little faster.
Yeah, I'm figuring out the rules well enough to run it, but I'm gonna explore that on Friday night, starting at 6 at Game Vault.
All right, so if you wanna check it out, or if you guys are interested in seeing something like that on the stream and running something, let us know. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know in the chat. Say, hey, yeah, we want to see some Shadowrun from Paul. You know, we have a new mobile unit now that we have. Maybe we can get a couple of games of that. You know, maybe even if it's just clips of it. You know, on the stream, so that way you guys can see something besides just D&D 5th Edition, which this homebrew will still remain to be because I love D&D 5th Edition. But I think that's all of our announcements for tonight. So now we are going to go ahead and get ourselves back into the game. Normally, I would tell you guys what happened last time, but there was no last time. Hold on a sec, this is... There we go. Bringing it down. Now, we do have something coming up shortly, probably next week, that will be preceding this to get us a better into our games. So that way you guys know just when they start. But that's coming up probably next week. Another thing too is you'll see us, most likely, if you see us use miniatures tonight, they're not our final miniatures. We have those currently on order. They're being made as we speak. They'll be shipped to us, and then I'll paint them and get them on the board. But that whole kerfuffle happened. Stuff you guys don't need to worry about. But we will have special miniatures for the campaign itself coming in. I also have a couple of guys who are doing specific things for the game. That's going to be coming down the road. So that we got a lot of interesting, fun stuff that's coming up. We hope you guys enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying it. Actually, it's kind of taken over my life the last few months, but you know, even more so than it did before. But you know what? I'm just embracing it. All right, so getting back into tonight's episode of the Guns of Erroll. Erroll, the promise of the West, meant to be the jewel in a faraway kingdom's crown, claimed and fought for by the kingdom of Amenus. Once its power held all lands north of the southern shield and east of the Silverbark Forest, until war, civil war to some, simple rebellion to others, changed the face of Erroll more than any event before it. Even the heavens themselves felt the winds of change from this event. And what were once gods above are now gods among us. 30 years the war raged, and its end came with the end of the kingdom of Amenus. Now the United Confederates struggles to claim the land and power that once belonged to this once great kingdom. In the 6 years since the Leoric Treaty was signed, life has begun to return to its now new sense of normalcy. In this vacuum of power, the guilds grow in influence daily. Will-driven tribes grow bolder. The frontier, which grew more dangerous, now sees homesteaders and prospectors once again. Ex-soldiers and gunfighters now look for work, struggling to survive in this new era of peace. Every change, every battle of old versus new, is personified in a small town that borders the trackless flats. A town where the discovery of silver mines has spurred a population boom no one was prepared for. A town in need of a few brave souls to help ensure its future. The town of Brownwater. Upon its muddy streets, with the sounds of wagons, merchants, and passers-by, mingle with that of the downtrodden rich and soon-to-be rich alike. Our story begins here, with sellswords and would-be heroes. Brownwater will never be the same again. Fianne and Darius. Taking you by surprise is the crowd of people in line, some on the backs of yokeps, others on wagons, but far more on foot. As you slowly make your way to the front of the line, you see a dirty human man, hat pushed back on his ears, revealing squinted eyes and a furrowed brow. Next to him stands a wooden sign about 3 feet high that reads, "Welcome to Brownwater, established 1104." Scrawled in barely legible, fading red writing, "Squatter's plot is full. Due west is Vigor's Ridge. Make camp there till space is made." An impatient noise escapes his lips as your eyes flicker from the sign to his. You got coin or paper for a room? If not, head west.
That's a bit forward there, sir. I have coin. Don't have paper.
You got a coin?
Yeah.
Let's see
I
it.
reckon I do. I'll pull out my coin pouch.
Jiggle it, open it up.
Yeah, I jingle it.
And you? Stops for kind of a second. You see his eyes soften a little bit. Kind of looks you up and down. Well, don't think you'll need coin.
Insight check. Do I need to insight check him?
Sure, no roll me an insight. And you weren't even ready. So unprofessional.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not a terrible person.
Thought we were professional D&D players.
Okay, that's an. I think I just sussed out his motive with an 18 plus.
Oh, easily.
23.
He's tired, aggravated. By the time you guys get there, it's the sun is quickly setting on the horizon. There's still a bit of yellow. You can barely see the sun, but most of the horizon itself is splashed in oranges and purples. It's getting close to sundown now. You can tell he's probably been out here all day long. He's tired. He's tired of people. The people around you are dirty, road worn, and most of them, as you've heard the chatter going through, most of them are trying to head south to the mines.
Yeah.
So he's probably been dealing with this crap all day.
Determining whether I need to hiss at him or just under my breath.
Seems like he definitely has a job you don't want. You do see a tin star on his chest. He will allow you to go through. Deacon kind of comes up behind and shows his pouch as he goes in. As you two are moving into the town, you hear a very old, crackling, feminine voice call out, "Deacon!" As she runs up, he quickly dismounts his Yolkep and gives a bear hug to a woman that's almost the same size as him. As your compatriot stands well over 7.5 feet tall, this woman is looking almost eye to eye to him. He embraces her in a very, very familiar type of hug. They then begin to speak in a strange language that neither of you understand. They converse for a few moments, and he points at the two of you and then will introduce the two of you. He walks up and, this is the woman I was telling you about. Her name is Ramudi. She is Sister Ramudi. She runs the Church of Morning Light here in town. One of the reasons I came down here. I'll have to speak to the sheriff later. She's informed him of my coming. She's currently needs me to head to the church now for night mass. If you'd be so kind, please get with me as soon as you can. I don't want to part ways quite yet, as suddenly as we've had to. So please. He takes a bow and shakes your hand. Then turns around and heads off with Ramudi, with his leading the Yolkep he has in tow. The two of you, as you look around, you will see that even though it is getting close to nightfall, it is very, very much a busy, busy place. If the music would play. If the music would play.
the Church of Dying Light?
Dawning Light.
Dawning Light.
Dying light.
I don't want to
Why
deal
would
with
there be a
zombies.
church of dying light?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Church of the Morning Light. Excuse me.
Never mind.
I don't hear nothing.
I don't either.
You broke it.
First we're out of camera, now the audio.
Right?
Don't say that.
Man, I was gonna come blaring out.
I know, right? And then we'll be like, ah.
That is not.
There we go.
That is not.
I would have laughed if
Yes,
Slayer's
it
Blood
is.
came out.
It is a cacophony of people walking through the streets. You can see there are a lot of people who seem to be packing up their wagons, tying them down, making sure that it's hard for any would-be thieves to get in and steal their merchandise. Other people are beginning to move about what counts for sidewalks. You can see that several of the buildings, especially here, as you get to the what looks to be almost the opening square of this town, there is several buildings connected by wooden walkways. That's kind of rare and don't really see that too much. Though it is quite the hubbub of activity going on. What are the two of you going to do?
Well, I don't know about you there, Catwoman, but I'm tired of this thing beating up my nuts whenever I ride it, so I'm going to sell it wherever it'll take it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go look for a place to sell this Yule Cap.
Roll me a perception check, please.
Am I familiar with what a stable is?
Oh, 13?
13. As you enter, you begin looking around. You can see just ahead of you, there looks to be a very brightly lit tavern. You can hear piano music that seems to be filtering out from there. There are so many people crowded in. Just from where you're looking at now, as the doors swing open and close, you can see there's tons of people in the chairs. It's a multi-level building that's got people on the outside of it, people on the walkways outside of it that are standing there drinking. Most of them seem to be drinking from smaller cups. It's not big mugs of whatever it is they are drinking. To your left, you happen to see a very familiar sight from from your travels. You see a fairly sizable livery with a stylized horse's head on it that you recognize as the symbol of the Vesher Guild. That is a guild of animal husbandry that deals in selling and breeding any kind of pack animal.
I'm going to take this nut beater and take it to delivery. I'm
Okay.
trying to sell it.
You can easily walk down. As you approach, you can see the front doors themselves are closed, and you can see that there's a couple of the hands that are slowly getting horses and leading them from the corral itself back inside the livery to house them for the night. It is, as it's getting a little late. You don't see anybody out front, but you can approach one of them if you like.
Yeah, I'm going to approach one of them.
Okay. What do you do? What do you say?
Hello there, gentlemen. I have a Yule Cap that I'm trying to offload. It's fairly healthy. It's fairly lively. It's just not my taste, as I like to keep my manhood intact.
The one you're talking to appears to be probably early 20s. Seems to see a lot of sun, very, very sun-kissed skin. Has a hat pulled over his head as he looks up and catches you. You see steel gray eyes as he goes, "Moment, sir, if you mind, meet me out front. I'll open up the door and I'll take a look at your animal."
Oh, sure, that's fine.
He goes inside. As you make your way back around to the front, it takes probably about 5 minutes, but the door, you hear a slide lock undo, and the wooden door opens up. He looks at you outside for a moment, looks at the animal, steps back in and closes the door behind him. My name's Hagen. What can I do for you? You said you want to sell the animal?
No, that's right, sir. I'd like to get rid of it. It's a little bit too rough of a ride for me. I'm used to a little bit smoother horses, that type of thing, and
Horses.
I'm just trying to get rid of it. So,
Well,
I like to keep my manhood intact, and it's beating up the boys.
Change it for another animal, or are you just looking to offload it? completely?
Offload it.
He goes around the animal for a minute. While he's doing this, what are you doing?
contemplating how to handle the old cap myself.
For you, go ahead and roll me a straight intelligence check.
Oh, that's gonna go well. That's a 10.
10? You've been through enough towns, you know that a place like this will charge you a fee, but they will house your animal for you. But that fee includes, you know, brushing, bathing, feeding, all that good stuff.
Okay then.
So while you're, as you're not really in this around the cities too much, we're going to go ahead and take this opportunity real quick as this man is inspecting your old cap to describe what your character looks like for us, please.
So Darius wears a leather duster of sorts, kind of keeps himself obscured. He wears a white shirt underneath. He has a it's buttoned up right about there. You know, it's just normal collar and everything. He has like shocking white hair, even though he's out in the dirt and everything. It never really seems to get too dirty. He keeps a like typical like if you ever seen Tombstone, Doc Holliday's hat. He's got like that type of hat on, you know.
Yeah.
Same color as his duster and everything.
He's like a dark brown.
Yeah, and if you do catch, like if his duster moves aside or whatever, you might catch the handle of a 6 gun sticking out. It's just just easy access, you know, be able to draw quick. He's got normal boots on, you know. He's just got, you know, black pants, you know. It's just.
There's something in particular about him though that people catch, though, right?
He's got startlingly green eyes. That's the word.
Well, not only that, but there's something else that
He's also-
there's always a smell following around for some reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very distinct smell. What is that smell? Smoke.
Smoke, right.
Because I don't know if, from your description, from what we talked about, I don't know if Fian has seen him at any point where he doesn't have a cigarette dangling from his
He
lips.
smells
Right,
like an
right,
ashtray.
'cause-
Yeah.
Should have said
he never is missing a cigarette.
Whether lit or not, he's always got a cigarette in his mouth.
Yep.
Okay, so he's there kind of chewing on a cigarette while he watches this man inspect his horse. His Yolkep. Now, a Yolkep is a very strange animal. Imagine a cross between a kangaroo and a reptilian-style creature. Scales cover most of its lower appendages and arms, though fur covers the rest of it. It has more of a reptilian face and tongue. It is a herbivore, though it also does partake in a particular type of cricket that it absolutely loves. That is used as very special treats for these creatures. You guys will actually see art of that thing coming very soon. If you can't get a good picture in your head, there's art of it coming, so don't you worry. Horses are a rarity in this area, especially because horses have a lot of trouble with most of this terrain out here, as there's lots and lots of brittle ground where they can easily lose their footing and break a leg. Yolkeps do not have that problem, though they are stubborn creatures and come up with their own rules and their own little special rule called stubborn. So yeah, you can imagine just how stubborn they are. As Hagen looks over the animal, looks at you and, all right, well, fine specimen. Now we're running a little heavy ourselves on a Yolkep right now, which is bringing the price down a bit. But if you like, I can offer you. Nah, I didn't even write the name down there. Huh. Sorry, still compiling all my notes.
Hagen?
No.
Oh.
How much for you, Captain?
I can offer you 22 Bergen notes.
What are those now?
Okay, so Bergen notes, the Bergen Credit Union does the banking for the breadth and width of a menace. They have the advent of paper notes, and each paper note is the equivalent of 10 silver pieces or a gold piece. They're as good as money. They're as good as gold as long as there's a Bergen Credit Union for you to turn it in at.
Is there a Virgin Credit Union in this town?
You're not entirely sure. You haven't been to Brownwater yet.
Oh, out of character. I got the ball beaten bastard for free technically. So you know it's money in my pocket at some point down the line. So yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, me. Peel, you know the Virgin notes come in 2 denominations, 1s and 10s. He peels off 22 individual notes, passes them your way. No, pleasure doing business with you. He helps you take your possessions off the saddle. Did you want to keep the saddle itself? All right.
I want to be done with it. Like
He takes the animal. Knocks on the doors. The 2 very large double doors open up. As he's walking up, he catches his eye of you, and then stops for a moment, looks you up and down, and why, yes, ma'am. How can I help you?
Keep this here.
Yes. Are you looking to house the animal? Or are you looking to sell it like this gentleman here?
House.
House the animal? Well, we can house that animal for you. We can go ahead and do that for. Call it 5 notes a week. Gold pieces if you got it, or Virgin notes work just fine. That sound lovely for you? Okay, come on inside. Give a representative your name, and they'll make sure that your name is attached to this here animal, so that way you can come and claim it. Now, if you do not come and claim the animal after a week's time, if another week passes, we claim the animal as our own. So be aware of that, please. We'll take you in. There's a nice younger lady who comes up with a clipboard, and she's got a sheaf of papers on there. She quickly scribbles down your name, gets the spelling wrong several times, and you have to constantly correct her. So while she's doing that, Fion, go ahead and describe yourself for the people.
Alrighty. This slender woman with red hair and green eyes could easily be mistaken for an elf, but she seems to be covered in a light coat of fur, a light coat of hair. Her nose, her triangular-shaped nose, is constantly running. Her eyes are almost solid green, except for elliptical pupils. She is appears to be wearing a ruddy-looking poncho that goes all the way down to her knees. And she's covered in striped markings that do appear to cover most of her body. From what you can see, yeah. From what you can see. And she has a necklace around her neck that has a lunar motif of the 2 moons that go around this world.
The moons of Leoel, yes.
Leoel.
Okay. Well, you definitely get yourself a few looks that you're used to. I mean, people in cities stare at you for some reason. You've never been able to suss out exactly why, but they kind of stare a bit. But it's a fairly quick transaction, as these people are tired and they want to get home. They've had a long day. You guys are coming in right at sundown, so this is more along the lines of, if it wasn't him selling as you guys know, when you talked to, what is his name? When you guys talked to, what is his name? Borstet. When you guys talked to Borstet, he told you they were very high quality yokeps that he gave you guys for your efforts. So 22, I mean, it probably a little low, but if he's right, I mean, as you can see from the stables themselves, almost pretty much every stall is filled. So I mean, most likely he's correct in his assessment. But still, 22 notes. That's pretty good. As you collect your valuables, do you wait around for her, for Phaon?
I'll wave off to Phaon. I'm going to the bar.
Okay.
I'm gonna go gamble.
I will mark his scent. It's kind of, very pungent.
yeah, it's pretty easy to follow. You're probably there for about 20 minutes as you collect up your gear, say goodbye to your yolkep, as you've grown rather fond of this particular animal as it's been with you for a while.
I'll wave goodbye.
And see, maybe it mists up a little bit as you slowly walk out delivery. As you approach this tavern, you see a sign that looks to be freshly painted yet unfinished. That reads the Welcome Ember Inn. There's a stylized version of like a campfire almost that's burning, but it looks like it's just got some lines on it. Doesn't have any color yet, and the sign itself looks to have been kind of hastily painted. When you look at the rest of the building, I mean, you can still smell the lacquer in the place. You can still smell the fresh paint. This building looks like it's brand new. It sits probably about 3 feet off the ground itself too. Has stairs leading up and has a walkway all around it. On the outside of it, there's stairs leading up to what appears to be a second level. You can see that there are people standing on those stairs that are talking to each other. There are people standing outside of it that are just kind of crowded around on it. It has something you haven't seen before, a strange set of swinging double doors on it. They're real small so you can see inside. It looks weird. You just kind of push on them and you go through and they just kind of close by themselves. Pretty weird, pretty interesting. But you definitely hear that music going through as you walk up and see it and see the people outside of it. What do you do?
Open the double doors and go try to find a gambling table.
As you come up and you open up the doors, you can see the place is packed. I mean, this is standing room only at this point. You're not entirely sure as to why, but I mean, you hear laughter, raucous laughter. You hear people. You can hear coins hitting tables. You can hear drinks being let down. The back over in the corner where you see a man banging away at a piano, for all intents and purposes. You can see there's a bunch of people crowded around him, and he's just wheeling away, and he's got a smile on his face. He's got a drink on top. There's a couple of very good-looking women that seem to be gravitated around that, as well as some very, very dirty men that these women have. I mean, these women are just under rapt attention of these very, very dirty, soddy-looking dudes for some reason. As you look around, you can see there's 3 tables of gambling going on. There is not an open seat in the house, though.
Guess I'll go get a beer.
You can muscle your way up to the bar. As you approach, you can see has to be the tallest. The skinniest young man that you've ever seen. I mean, this guy's almost like a stick. He makes elves look like they're thick. With 3 C's, thick. This guy is a gangly fellow as he comes up. As he looks over at you and he just like, he comes over real quick. Can't be older than probably 16. He's got a thick mane of blonde hair. And he has a very, very nice smile, which is kind of strange for these parts. As he comes up and looks at you and goes, "How you doing, fella? My name's Tomlin. What can I get for you today? Haven't seen you around here before. What's your name?"
We'll get to that in a minute, son. But my name's Darius. But I just want a beer. I just got into town.
Oh, no beer here, sir. We got ourselves some hard cider. We got ourselves some water, and we got ourselves some whiskey. What can I get you?
Whiskey.
Whiskey? All right.
You see him kind of like pull back at the hard cider, just like, what the fuck?
Oh, when he sees that, you see a smile. His smile grows even. Oh, that's right, sir. Hard cider made with our own fresh apples from here on. This orchard just outside of Brownwater. Best stuff you ever tasted in your life. It's the most popular drink, in fact. You can look around and you can see, as he pours whiskey in a glass and puts it in front of you, you're one of the very few people who has whiskey in a glass. And the cider that they're pouring out, they're pouring out equal portions of what they would give in whiskey. It's not like kegs of cider. It's not casks of cider. It is, you see people sipping it. And he's like, "Yes, sir, it's famous around these parts. Fiery apple cider. When you get a head on your shoulders, you let me know. I'll get you a shot. Never go back. Trust me, sir. Now hold on a second. I'll be right back." And he goes on along, and you see him just helping people out. He's almost dancing around. An older gentleman seems to be kind of portly, but very, very tall. I mean, you can see his gut. He's so tall. You can fully see his gut. His shirt, just isn't covering all of it. You can see that flabby, strip of flesh just hanging out below it as he just kind of waddles over and sees you and just nods in your direction real quick, wipes where his the boy spilled a little bit there, then gets up and continues walking. As people are shouting, he's just kind of nodding at them and handing them their drinks and things like that. Lively place. I mean, when you're at the bar, I mean, you're at the bar. I mean, there are people trying to get in. There are people calling for shots. There's 2 young women who are just kind of meandering around the group with trays laden with these small little glasses. They're clay cups, almost like a wine glass that doesn't have the stem on it. Just dozens and dozens of these clay cups that are filled almost to the brim of that. Look, it's not frothy like beer, but it's definitely got some kind of a head on it. Mm-hmm. It's definitely some that cider thing they're talking about. People that aren't drinking the cider, you see others drinking water, which is strange, but they're drinking it almost like it's wine.
Yeah, I'll stick with the whiskey.
Yeah. After a little bit, you can sit there for. It probably takes you about the 20 minutes to get up to the bar, get yourself a drink, and take in the whole place. When you're turning around, kind of looking around, you see Fian as she opens up the door. Now, when you walked in, no one really paid attention at all. When she opens up the door and kind of looks around, you see a few people just like.
I'm looking. Well, if he's within 60 feet, I know right where he is.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're just following on that trail of smoke. If you do go to try to light a smoke, though, you see the big man just catch your eyes and just go. But you can leave it dangling from your lips unless you want to try your luck.
I mean, tobacco's still tobacco, even if you chew it, technically.
But you can see him. Place is loud for you. Way too loud. You don't like this.
I don't know. Going for the din of people. It'd be nice to just listen to the music.
As you approach, you're able to kind of flit your way through the crowd and make your way over to Darius. As you have your back turned and you're watching her, get close to you, you just feel a large presence behind you.
Can I help you?
You turn and look. You see that same big, burly-looking dude. Name's Norris. I own this place. Don't recognize that face. Nor hers neither.
I'll turn around and look at him. Well, I guess look up at him.
Yeah. It seems as if the bar itself is almost like on a platform, so they're like slightly above everybody, so that way they can get like a good survey of the room. I mean, he doesn't need it, but his son definitely does.
Yeah.
You can see the family resemblance now.
Well, sir, we just got into town. My name's Darius, and that one over there has got some name that's rather hard to produce. It's kind of weird. Fionn, something like that, fancy.
When he looks at you the same way he would look at like a dirty mug. Like it's just another part of his day. You catch absolutely no difference in the way he looks at you than he's looked at anybody else in this, which is for you kind of thankful as you catch no additional attention from him as he just looks from you then back over to you.
Looks at everyone.
And his eyes go from your eyes down to your belt.
Don't need to worry about that, sir.
I trust you've been down to the sheriff's to make sure Major Presence known you're going to be walking around with a weapon.
Was that the man up front with the 10 star?
That'd be one of his deputies. If you haven't gone to see Sheriff Wolverth, I suggest you go now. Before there's any trouble.
Is there a lot of trouble around here?
Well, it tends to get rough and tumble, and it's getting about that hour. So if you haven't seen him, you're going to be the first one he locks up. You don't go on by and make yourself known. We're friendly out here, but not so friendly to faces we don't know. You understand?
I understand just fine.
You go on back. Whiskey's on me. Go get you seen.
Alright, thank you, sir, for your hospitality.
Come on back.
I will.
And he goes
throws the whiskey back, puts it down.
Terrible whiskey. I mean, the most sippingest whiskey as you can, because that's just as soon as it hits the back of your throat, it's nothing but that. Oh. But hey, it's alcohol.
And considering my past, it's better than dirt water.
Yeah. as you and okay, so he's giving you. He's told you taking your whiskey. What do y'all do? You heard this obviously. He's just standing next to him.
Yeah. I start like just working my way through, and I put a hand on her shoulder, and just like, well, if the big bastard wants us to leave, we'll talk to the sheriff. Where we're standing now, we might as well get it over with.
Don't know what the sheriff is.
I just start walking out.
You know what a sheriff is. You've probably been in trouble a few times with the issues you have. So you know what a sheriff is. As you make your way down, you all, just a simple ask of you when you walk out of the tavern of where the sheriff's office is, you get a couple of fingers pointing straight south. Well, you guys are on like a T intersection when you walked into town, and the stable sits on one side of the intersection. The Ember Inn literally sits just on the other side of the road. Down that same path, not taking left, but coming straight down that road, you head your way on down, probably 3-4 blocks, and you come to very, very easily, this is the sheriff's office. There's a gigantic sign that says sheriff, and you can see it is made of much better construction than most of the buildings around it. It seems to be a much more permanent structure and appears to be 3 stories tall.
I walk in.
Walking to the front, you open up the door. As you all make your way inside, it's fairly dimly lit inside. You can see there's, right as you walk in, there's a nice open area, and then probably 30 feet into this building. The building itself is probably about 80 feet wide. Only 30 feet of it is not just jail cell after jail cell after jail cell. And you see probably 3 or 4 different people milling around in these different cells as you walk in. You see in front of you, there's a bunch of small little tables, and there's one large desk. And on this desk, there are stacks and stacks of parchments and papers. Sitting behind this desk is what looks to be an aging gold dragonborn, bespectacled, with them hanging low upon his snout as he looks down at a stack of paperwork in front of him. He shuffles through these. You can see where the other one had a tin star upon his chest. Star he's wearing is made of platinum, if not the finest quality silver, if not platinum. I mean, it is very distinguishable from the other one. It also, where the other star, it was 5 points. This is an 8-pointed star that he's wearing. You guys know their, well, you know the history behind that, the 8 pillars of law. So the 8 points of the star, okay? As you all approach, you see his beclawed, gnarled fingers point to a row of seats that sit up next to the door, and you hear his grumbled voice. I'll be with you just in a minute. Take a seat. I'll get to you as soon as I can. As you look over, you happen to see sitting there a very dirty, road-weary looking dwarf that appears to have a patch on one eye and a hat pulled low onto his head. Sitting probably 1 seat away from him is probably the tallest human you've ever seen in your life. I mean, sitting down, this human's taller than you. Yeah, I mean, absolutely gigantic, which is huge. I mean, he must be about as tall as your friend Dakin. He must be around that height. As you make your way over to the chairs and sit down, there's a row of about 8 seats. They look like they have seen quite a bit of use. As you all sit down, and let me get over to this real quick. As you all make your way and sit down on these seats, the wood creaking beneath you as you do. The wood itself creaking beneath you as you do, you can, you can see the people beside you, and as you take your seat, you hear the front door open yet again. Inside, walking in front of you, you see what looks to be a very poshly dressed tiefling. I mean, its purple skin is stark against the very dark, almost banker-like suit that a three-piece suit that it's wearing. You can see a chain from a gold watch that sits in its pocket, which that's a pricey piece of an apparatus to have. A clockwork watch itself is fairly expensive. Yes.
From the dwarf, you hear, well, fuck me. You don't see that every day.
As the tiefling walks in, he removes a stove, almost like shorter than a stovepipe hat. I'm not entirely sure what they call them, but those nice,
Top hats?
yeah,
Top hat.
like just a top hat. He pulls the top hat off of his head. He walks up to the desk, and he's about to introduce himself when you hear Wolverith raise his hand, point at the chairs, and give the same exact greeting that he gave you all. Be with you in a minute. Just let me finish up this. Have yourselves a seat.
My apologies.
You did not notice, as he turns around and makes his way to the seat, you see almost melting out of his shadow appears to be a gnome. Referred to, most of you guys would probably know them as, you wouldn't know it's a gnome or a halfling, you would know it as a kinderling. It's kind of a catch-all term for any of the smaller races, referred to as kinderlings. Sometimes used as derogatorily to mean also goblins and kobolds, but it's meant more for the more civilized of the smaller races. She's very road worn as well, but she is wearing an outfit that all of you recognize, as she is wearing an old soldier's uniform that seems to be torn and patched up. As they get over there and take a seat, the silence is deafening as you can hear Wolverith's pen scratching on parchment until one of you speaks up.
Could we tell what side the uniform's from? North, south?
Easily. It is from the south.
Jim don't like this.
Specifically, Southgate.
It's okay, Jim.
Highness.
I will,
Sorry, excuse me, Highmist. It's from Highmist.
I will get up at that. I'll walk over.
Well, she sits kind of next to you. Kind of neat.
Greetings,
No.
we one.
What do you do?
That's it on the other side of him away from him.
Okay.
Greetings, we one. Yeah, I see you fought in the war.
Did you fight in the war?
I been through it.
I think a few of us here have.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. They call me One Eye.
I see that. You have one eye.
I just wanted to introduce myself. You two have a wonderful day. And he goes back and sits at the head of the line.
Karen,
That's an
don't
observant
normally
fucker,
see
isn't he?
dwarfs talk
Remember,
so nice.
don't
They
be
normally don't
sandpaper.
talk very nice.
Not sandpaper. This one talks nice.
Well, you sure are aggressive.
Exception.
We got two different conversations going on that everyone wants to hear. So go, continue to finish yours.
Remember, you can catch a lot more flies with honey.
Why would I waste honey on flies when I got a gun?
Oh, fuck it.
So anyways, like I was saying, that silk bastard, I cut him a Southgate smile with my toothpick. Not like those pussies from Highmist that didn't fight, they just sat behind their damn chain. Some of the finer points of diplomacy.
But
Ah, well.
remember,
David.
With my tail. It's
Cheer.
okay.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Can't stop
Why are you
touching
sorry? I
Cheer.
didn't get a Southgate smile.
He's just watching.
Right.
The war is over and done with. There's no sense in fighting.
He is better than Southgate.
So, I gave a fairly vague description of some of these people, but let's go ahead and start with our resident One-Eye.
Well, I'd be a dwarf. With a hat and a patch. I smell and look like I've been on the road. I be scenting myself with rosemary. I have a black beard. I wear the leathers. Everywhere I can put my hand is a sheath for a dagger, with the dagger missing, of course. I have two large daggers at my right hip, and a hand crossbow at me left. I don't have bother with any capes or cloaks. I just be a wee little dwarf. They call me One Eye.
Heavily muscled, with a narrow waist. You could mistake me for a human until I stand up and you realize I'm about 8 feet tall and 400 pounds. With dirty blonde windswept hair, weathered skin. Long duster, shirt open to the chest. Pair of ebony grip 6 guns poking out from behind the duster. The hilt of what I affectionately call my toothpick, which for average sized people would be more like a longsword, jutting out from behind my back. Oh, Southgate army pants.
A well-dressed purple tiefling, standing there with rather beautiful blue eyes, and horns that just come out and then go straight forward.
Straight up.
Straight up. Yeah, sorry.
Straight out and
And
straight,
straight
up.
up.
They go, whoop, whoop.
Well-mannered, stands proud. You can't see very many weapons, though he does conceal a 3-gun and a dagger at times. Very generally well-mannered. My name is Caliph.
And the wee one beside you.
She's got very unruly wild hair, or I do have very unruly wild hair. Black, very dirty. Dark, gray, dirty skin. Worn with patches and yet some parts that are torn off of a high mist uniform, just the jacket and the pants. And then we got black eyes and a crescent moon scar right under the left eye.
Would I know if that means anything?
Go to roll me a medicine check.
You know, Chia, if we're being seen together, I need to get you better
17.
dress.
17?
Is that a marking that
What's wrong
someone
with
would
your
put
dress?
on someone
Chip dress
to
comfy.
denote property or certitude or...
Is it a brand?
That's hard to know, but it looks like it's almost the same circumference as a 6-gun barrel.
Okay.
Cool.
You don't see any weapons at the moment.
Okay, and you all see the aforementioned strange woman, almost elven-like woman, sitting there with a poncho that is basically draped around her, almost like a dress right now as she sits there. You're relatively short, correct?
The 5'9".
5'9", so no, so you're very tall. And then you see and spark up a cigarette, kick back in his chair, wearing this leather duster, blowing smoke out into the room and listening to the scratching of Woolworth's pen on paper. After what seems probably about 20-30 minutes, the light from behind you slowly begins to fade into nothingness until you finally hear a very stark point on whatever he's writing, and clatters the pencil down. You see him pull the spectacles from his nose, and he begins to rub the bridge on his, fairly sizable brow. I mean, you guys have maybe heard of Dragonborn, maybe even seen one or two in your lifetime. They're not the most common of creatures in this area, but they tend to garner respect from people who see them. They're very scary looking. I mean, they look like dragon people, which can be very off-putting. But you see him rubbing the bridge of, the bridge of his nose, or snout in this case. Then you see slowly blink his eyes, look over at you, and right, come on, let's have ourselves a talk. Stand out here in front of my desk. Let me get a good look at you. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy.
All of
Stand
us?
up and go. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, come on, come on.
Got it.
I stand up.
Jeez, I hate it.
You need me to pick you up so you can see?
You can stand on this side of me.
No, I'll be fine.
What about this chair? You want to stand on the chair?
No. I'll just walk around the desk for if he wants to get a gun draft.
Caliph is my
Darius
name.
just stretches and like cracks his back as shit after sitting for so fucking long.
As you
Just stands.
you
in
kind of
front
make a like almost like a half moon around his desk. He reaches out and he'll take your hand and Sheriff Wolverith. Now, I'll give you all a little speech that I do with everyone that comes into this place. I am the law here in Brownwater. I have 6 deputies that work beneath me. If one of my deputies gives you an order, you will follow said order. If you do not follow said order, they will fire upon you. And most of them are pretty good shots. I won't tell you which one's not, so that way you don't know which one to mouth off to. But do you keep your weapons in your holsters, keep your tongues in your mouth without spewing too much venom, and we shouldn't have ourselves too many problems. Now,
Don't spit venom.
it's a figure of speech, an idiom.
She doesn't get them sometimes. Don't worry about it.
Okay. It takes all kinds, right? Well, as you can see, we have ourselves a bit of a population boom here in Brownwater. Most of them are squatters, but anybody who's got themselves some note or coin is more than welcome within Brownwater. Looking at each of you, I can understand why you all came by to say how do you do to old Sheriff Wolverith when he got into town. You all just arrived today?
Aye.
We did.
Yeah, we did so.
Straight here like law-abiding folks, Sheriff.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to see that you're law-abiding folks. Now, let me get a look at you. And he has you all approach, and he looks at each of you. And, all right. Now, I'm pretty good with faces. I'm a fairly good artist as well. And he reaches up and he taps a board that sits next to him. Upon this board, you can see there are several posters of people. Now, a typical wanted poster usually is the most nondescript picture you can imagine. That's like, that could be 60% of the population. These are not the case. If he's not an artist to an almost master degree, he is able to do something with these pictures to almost print your likeness upon them as they stand. I mean, it is uncanny how good those are. If you'd almost think one of those wanted posters could just turn his head for a moment and look back at you. That's how almost lifelike they look.
Do they have a bounty from what I can see?
There are 3 on the board currently. All 3 have a posted bounty on them. But we'll get to that in just a second. Well, I'm glad to see you all came down here. Now, Sheriff Wolverith, to get yourself seen. That is very much appreciated. Better for you that way, because anything breaks out and you just happen to be in the vicinity, well, find yourself behind bars. Now, down here in Brownwater, we follow a menace law. You understand? Now, I know you've heard the stories of Tethys. Well, that don't fly now around here in Brownwater. You understand? We follow a menace law. You understand? You all know a menace law?
Aye.
Good. Then ain't gonna no excuses then. You skin your smoke wagon, you let it loose. Well, you better be damn sure you in the right. Because if not, you're gonna swing from the end of a rope. You understand? We got any issues so far?
No, sir.
Good. Now,
Here to help you have less of a headache.
really,
Certainly.
he kind of leans back in his chair and, well, I must say it is rather odd for 6 mercenary fellows such as yourself to walk into Brownwater, especially on the same day.
Oh, no. Sheriff, don't know them. Only us.
Oh, yeah, I'm not telling that you know him. I'm simply looking at you and saying that you are obviously of a mercenary bent. Even your posh friend here is obviously of a more martial mind than what he pretends to be.
I'd just be a humble hunter.
Sure, but a hunter knows how to shoot, knows how to fight, knows how to skin, knows how to kill, definitely. Am I wrong?
Oh, you got the point there.
See, I didn't say anything.
You all fight the war?
Aye.
Cheer fight.
Fight's an interesting word, but yeah.
Cheer fight. okay.
I don't
I
fight for
won't-
nobody else besides myself. So
Well, I won't be so rude as to ask just which side you fought for, just the fact that you got experience on a battlefield. We'll just leave it at that. Well, the 6 of you coming to Brownwater obviously heard the rumors. Indeed, there are 6, count them, 6 silver mines to the south of us that are now just brimming with work. You want to pick yourself up a pick, you want to pick yourself up some panhandling and head your way on down there, more power to you. Good luck. Mine is not a cheerful place to try to make your living in. But if that's your focus, you go on right ahead. If not, well, plenty of work here in Brownwater for you.
Those 3 have bounties on their head.
Aye, they do.
Do you want them alive or in a coffin?
Well, it's always preferable alive, so that way they can face a menace and justice. Understand? But understandable that every once in a while, someone may meet a bitter end at the end of a barrel or a knife.
Accidents happen. People draw. Fair fights.
Indeed. If you have a bounty, well, then you're not subject to the typical menace laws for dueling and fighting. But, perfectly honest, those 3, more trouble than they're worth right now. Those 3 that are running out in the trackless flats. Unless you feel like running in on some Wildevin, drawing your knives against them.
When he says Wildevin, I spit on the ground.
He stops for a moment and
Do I recognize the poster, guys? By chance?
roll me a perception check.
That is a 13.
No, I mean they're very, very good pictures. So it's hard to mix them up with anybody else. They are just look to be 3 people. Would you like their names?
Yes,
Yeah,
I would.
May I? Oh,
That will be easy.
yeah.
It's only first names on them. None of them have last names. You need a pen? Pencil.
Yeah.
First one looks to be a human. You're not sure why, but you think from the picture. The picture is just a like almost a charcoal drawing, very, very good charcoal drawing. But you get from the shading of it, it's probably like a lighter-haired person, maybe even blonde. That was Colin. Then you guys have
What's the name?
Colin.
Colin.
And then you have the next gentleman, appears to be a kindling, missing what looks to be a good chunk of his face from some kind of, either something attacked him or something, but I mean that scar is so easily recognizable from a far distance away. It
He's
did
uglier than
so
you.
much damage to his face.
Sandpaper.
They call him Whisper. Then the last one is a woman. They call her Lady Jane. She appears to be, at one point, she was probably absolutely beautiful.
Human?
Very human woman, yes. Was probably once very beautiful. Probably had all the prospects in the world, but is probably 20 years past that. Still has that look, she's still beautiful, but it's an older kind of beauty. It's not a young, vibrant beauty,
Is there a price listed?
Each one of them has 100 notes for each one.
What is the monetary symbol?
Oh, it's actually an N. An N with a line, like,
A vertical line through it?
yeah, vertical line through it. So, let me show you. Yoink.
Might as well show straight to the
Yeah.
cameras.
Try it. So like that.
Oh,
Mine
and-
line's
and-
actually a little.
Yeah, an N with a vertical line on it.
Mine's actually a little.
So like a Z, but
Yeah.
Right. Side by
Well,
side.
an N, yeah. An
sometimes
N.
people, but
Yeah. But that's like I said, that'd probably be a bit more trouble than they're worth. Unless you're looking at tangling for Wildevin, as you spit on the ground. Unless you're looking at tangling with Wildevin out in the trackless flats. It's where most people who get their face up on that wall head, because they're all going to find you around here. Now, you may run into some people here that tell you they don't need no law, that they got their own law around here.
Aye.
Now, they got the family law. Exactly. Well, you don't listen to them. You understand?
Aye.
Don't listen to them. You understand? This is a menace law here, no matter what they say. And you got any problems with them? Let me know. We'll get it taken care of at some point. But change is slow out here in Brownwater. Slower still in Texas. But I may have something of interest for you in the morning. I got myself a bit more work to do, so we'll talk more once I get some Z's. Once I get some sleep, some shut eye.
We'll certainly not keep you busy. Thank you.
If y'all don't have yourselves accommodation, y'all are more than welcome to come back, and I can fit you up with a jail cell. I won't even lock it. Promise.
Well, it's better than the dirt.
It is indeed.
Aye, the town's pretty full.
See, you think so.
You need to walk.
Head into the other areas of Brownwater and you find out just how empty it actually is.
Where is there a nice empty flop house? With a modest rate.
Right now, there's only 2 places you're going to find they're going to have any kind of accommodation. You have the freshly refurbished Welcome Ember Inn. Now, that would be your best bet if you're looking for something along the lines of comfort. If you don't mind some fleas in your bed, you guys don't want, or you don't mind the cold hard ground, then I would go to the Bent Pick Pub. There they might have a couple of areas open that you might be able to sleep in, but it's going to be dirty. It's not going to be very good.
The Friendly Ember Tavern.
But
They draw a nice bath.
they do have an attached bathhouse they send out to. It's not part of the inn itself, but there is a bathhouse a few doors away.
You just took a bath.
You need a bathhouse.
I need one.
It hasn't been a week.
Well, your definition of cleanliness
Actually, it's been about a week.
much different than mine.
From Eric.
See,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not so bad.
that's true too. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
I'll be giving them a coin for a nice hot bath.
Okay.
My tail just... Yeah, you're fine.
Now, you do yourself a favor, all right, and you just stay away from the Broken Heart Mill. You understand?
They don't like dwarfs.
No, they'll love your money, and you might be having to take a trip to the hospitals after that. But
They'd be
Is this
feeding off of the working class.
Sporting
yeah.
establishment.
Sport's the way to put it. Not my game per se, but yes, sport is to be had if you so wish. I would definitely keep yourselves away from what we call squatters' plot. I would definitely stay away from there after nightfall.
Does it get a bit rough down there?
Much rougher than the rest of the city, I can tell you, but that's a hard place for a few deputies I got left to be able to patrol, make sure everyone's following the rules.
I understand.
But,
You put them where they are most effective.
well, where I can, yes. Well, if you are interested in the good of work, come see me in the morning. We'll have ourselves a conversation.
And coffee.
And coffee? Well, we don't do much in the way of coffee around here, but we have ourselves some breakfast cider. You all have yourselves a nice evening. I'll see you come sunup.
You too.
And without another word, he puts his spectacles back on his face, picks his pen back up, and begins writing into a ledger again.
Come, Sheriff.
What did you call that place with all the
Come
tents?
cheer.
Oh, squatter's plot.
Come cheer.
And he says without looking up.
You don't say it right. It's cheer.
That was the Welcome
Don't
Ember,
say it.
the Broken Pig.
The Bent Pig Pub. The Bent Pig Pub.
Bent Pick Pub. And what was that third place? The place that we're definitely not supposed to go.
Oh, Broken Heart Mill.
Broken Heart Mill.
Yeah, may want to stay away from that place. You know, because you're good, law-abiding folk, like you said.
Of course, of course. Just ensuring that I know the place is not to visit.
Okay, so as you all slowly file your way out of the sheriff's office, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. We're trying to get our breaks in a little earlier than what we normally do. Try to take a few breaks as opposed to taking one long one. We'll probably take 2 breaks on very long sessions. We'll take 3 breaks. So we're going to take a quick break, let people go to the bathroom and stretch their legs. We'll be right back. Stick with us. And welcome back. Let's just jump right back into this current episode, episode 1 of Guns of Erroll. So, after walking out of the sheriff's office, the din of the crowd begins to pick up again. To the north of you, you can hear that large mass of people that seems to be milling around 2 buildings in particular. One, the Welcome Ember Inn. The other one, a much darker establishment that has out front of it a single red burning lantern, which is, those of you who are at least slightly in the know, which is probably a couple of you are not, that is the red light district. It almost looks like it is a apartment building of sorts. It's fairly narrow, probably about 60 feet wide, but probably 200 feet long. And you can see there are half a dozen windows on either side of an upper story and a first story. You can still see people moving about. Most people seem to be heading. Some people dressed up in finery. Some people like put on their 3-piece suits and their top hats, and they're with a nice lady in there, or a nice lady on their arm, wearing a suitable dress that seems to be in fashion these days, making their way towards the Ember Inn, the Welcome Ember Inn. What are y'all going to do as the 6 of you stand outside the sheriff's office?
Should we go to the Welcome Ember Inn?
Let me guess.
Okay.
Bath.
Why are you taking a bath?
Cheer wants big steak.
The chair should get a bath first.
Where?
No, cheer get big steak.
Is it just
After
me?
bath.
Steak size of chair.
Just so
Sounds
you,
yummy,
just
but
so
after
you
bath.
2 over there know, she's gonna get lost as sure she is in that fucking inn over there, because that thing is packed. You can't even find a chair. So
Don't worry about her. She's usually very good at
While
those
they're
kinds of
talking,
things.
I would have already woven myself.
So you are. So you take
Yeah,
off.
it's like-
See? Look, she's gone already.
I'll have fun chasing your diminutive pit.
Well,
I wouldn't call
Cheer
her
his commander!
a companion.
Commander!
I'd
In
love
the-
to stay and talk to y'all, but I got things to do. And,
Yeah, go wash your nuts. I already heard about it. Go wash your nuts.
I walk off.
Okay. Towards which one? Towards
Bathhouse.
which one? Towards the
Bathhouse. and
Mill of
then
Broken Hearts, or the bath, or are you heading towards the Ember Inn?
The Ember Inn.
the nicer of the 2 bathhouses.
You would assume the Ember Inn from his description of, or his warnings against the Mill of Broken Hearts.
Why would you be going to that?
So the 2 of you kind of, she takes off before you, but you begin heading in the same direction as the Kinderling woman. What are the rest of you doing?
Where do we stay?
We could stay up in the jail cell. He already said he
I head towards
let's
the
stay in
bathhouse.
there.
I'll follow the dwarf.
Ember Inn?
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, like, no
Tell you to
offense,
wait
but
up,
you
your
ain't my
little
time,
stumps
and
can't
I'm
carry
thinking
you
I
fast
get
enough
late,
to
so
get
I think I
away.
might go over
I know.
to the
You got
less
more legs
reputable
than
spot.
Me, therefore
So
you're faster than
Ember Inn?
me. I've heard it told before.
The less reputable spot.
Less
I know what I
reputable
like
spot?
saying.
to get no
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you?
I'll follow those guys to the Ember.
Okay. So you guys kind of split off. You guys kind of meander into the same direction while you guys see the strangely white-haired fellow take a few steps toward the Ember Inn, take a look to his left, light a cigarette, and begin walking towards the Mill of Broken Hearts. The rest of you, as you get closer and closer and closer, you guys can hear that this place is just humming. And there is that strange piano that some of you just barely heard as you were walking your way through. But most of you did not hear it. But it's not tuned like a regular piano. It's almost slightly higher pitched, and the way the guy plays it is much messier. I mean, the song is not doing him justice. He's not quite as precise as the song would. This is what the song he's trying to play. But he's getting a beat, maybe a B minus on it. You know. As you all approach, there are still quite a few people, though it seems the party seems to have been spread out a little bit. At this point in time, it's getting close to about 10 o'clock at night. So some of the clientele has thinned out. Some of the younger people, some of the people who have worked the next day, have thinned out a bit. You can see there's at least space at tables thereabouts around this place. Bar is completely full. Everybody go and roll me a perception check real quick.
17.
Oh,
I love that. That is 21 for me.
Oh, sorry, not you, Darcy. You're in a different location. So we'll get to you in just a minute.
Can I keep that for later?
Sure.
Because I have a -2 on my perception.
Yeah, if I ask
Like-
you for a perception check, I'll give you that.
Thank you, oh graceful.
A perception check. We'll let
Thank
you
you,
have
oh
that.
gracious Lord, because I have a -2 on perception.
Okay. So, what is give them out to me. What do you guys got?
idea with
13.
dwarf, so
13
I rolled me an 8.
21.
13.
and
18.
18 for Gunner. Okay. Pretty much everybody except you. As you guys move in, you're just. This is a tight place. I mean, there's some tables and stuff like that. And there's some gambling going on. There's probably two. Seems to be two Amenas games going on.
I would be there, the space to dance.
Not really, not yet. Unless you want to dance around the piano. There seem to be a couple of women who are kind of lounging around the piano that are just staring lovingly into the most dirty, road-worn men you've ever seen in your lives. They're hanging on every word these guys are saying. These are the most charming, horrendously ugly men you've ever seen in your life.
Well, I see that there'll be a fine trade with the working girls tonight.
He means whores.
Oh, wow.
You see her kind of red up in the cheeks a little bit.
They're women that sell their bodies for money.
They fuck for silver.
Well, sandpaper.
I sit myself
What?
down in earshot of those men.
Okay,
As
Sound like the safe word
you
sandpaper.
sit down, I mean, you're sitting for but a moment when you see a almost sashaying her way through the crowd, a frizzy-haired younger woman, very, very dark complected, very beautiful green eyes. As she makes her way over to you, kind of bumps into you with her hips and goes, "All right, Shug, what's going to be today?"
Oh, martini, shaken, not stood.
I have no idea what that is. We have ourselves some hard cider, we have whiskey, and we have water. What would you like?
Steak.
Steak?
out of
I
nowhere.
can have a steak roasted up for you. If you got 3 notes in your pocket.
I got 3 notes. Should cut those notes.
And I'll take one of those ciders.
Cider.
Cider? Okay. That's going to be a note for the ciders.
Oh. You have the money.
What the bargain? Cattle bargains.
well,
I've got money.
while you
Cheers up.
two argue,
Hey.
you
So-
throw me a bath, love.
So you head up over the same table they're at?
Or we're not all together?
Oh,
I don't know.
you kind of walked in. He went straight for a table.
Okay, so I'm gonna go well, sorry, I butted in.
You said it was 5 silver?
Yeah, 5 notes would do just fine.
Okay.
Okay. She pockets the extra note. Then it sachets away from the table. It takes about 30-45 minutes for you to get your steak. And it's not very well cooked, but it's good food. It's hot food, and you haven't really had a whole lot of that on the road. Within moments, you have ciders in front of you. When she comes back around to drop them off, she goes, "Now, you get 4 ciders for a note, just so you know. So you got 2 more ciders coming your way."
Thank you.
And she kind of moves off about. As you're moving through, you can see there is another, seems probably a couple of years older than the darker complected girl, but same thing. She has that really, really curly shock of hair, very, very dark complected as well, which is strange because you can almost see a familial resemblance between her and the young man behind the bar. But I mean,
When you say dark complexion, like
dark, very dark complected. They would be of like black descent. in the real world, like African descent in the real world. But in this world, there's no Africa. They're just dark, very dark complected. The boy, while he looks exactly like them, he'd probably burst into flames if he walked out in the sun for too long. You know, he's one of them. When she sees you, she comes coming up to you and what can I do for you, sugar?
Well,
You look a little bit lost. How can I help?
it's nice to be called by a sweet name. Might you have a bath?
Oh, head yourself on 3 doors down. You can't miss the smell of lavender. Just head on down that way. They'll get you suited right up. Just tell them Tilsa sent you, okay?
Oh, wonderful. And please entertain me large-statured friend here.
She looks over at him and like, well, I'm sure he can find some own entertainment for himself. But if he wants some booze, I will go ahead and help him out with all he wants. Would you like some
Whiskey.
We have whiskey.
Whiskey.
We have it. Could I tempt you?
The bottle.
Well, could I tempt you with something that tastes quite a bit better and will get you messed up just quite a bit faster than that shithouse whiskey we got?
You don't have good whiskey?
I wish we did, but frankly, it doesn't sell around here, so no reason for us to really buy it. Everyone around here is pretty partial to this cider. If you want to give it a shot, it'll get you riled up right quick.
Which card table has the drunkest players at it?
Roll me an insight check.
6.
You see one that, I mean, these guys, they all must be drunk out of their, they've probably been at it all day long. You know, they barely pay attention to anything that's happening around them, and you can see just bottle after, glass after glass turned upside down. That one of them's got like a nice little stack. They look like they've been drinking for a while.
Bring it over there.
All right, sugar. Just so you know, you got to pay the house. It's 2 notes for a seat. So if you want a bottle, you said, right? Well, give me.
Let me try to taste that cider before I decide if I want a bottle of it.
Oh, I got you. She pulls out a small glass of vial out of her pocket and puts it right in front of you. At first, it tastes like apple pie, like that cinnamon apple pie. Then it punches you in the tongue with what feels like fiery cinnamon. And you can feel the alcohol in this. I mean, your eyes almost, you have that flash of white when you take a shot of something really strong. That's just like a, whoa!
You know what that reminds me of?
No, I don't.
Something good.
I'll have to take
That's why
it.
it's only thing out here that really sells. Should.
Right. I'll take a bottle of that.
Yeah, if you want, I'll go ahead and settle up the house for you. It'll be 5 notes for the bottle and the seat.
Bear.
What, you got your own money?
I have my own money.
Aye.
Let's use yours.
No.
Why not?
So I'm going to get me a bath.
See, you don't need it. You're going to be floating.
Take care of yourself.
I'll give you a cut of the winnings.
All right. And he hands you 1 note.
It's half a seat.
Aye. You pay for the other half.
Pull out 4 gold coins and wrap them in the note.
That spends just fine. Customary to tip the house?
It's customary. But I'm not going to fucking do it.
Well, let's hope your attitude changes when you win a little bit. Go ahead and have yourself a seat. And she walks up and goes, boys, next hand, get this asshole set his cards, okay? They come by with some booze. And
I like her.
Turns around and she sashays away.
Asshole!
Probably early 20s. Probably had to deal with a lot of pawing hands, things. She's definitely got some bark to her, but seems very warm-hearted. And you can see like the old man behind the bar, who's obviously her father. I mean, it's uncanny how much they look alike. Doesn't even give a second glance when she's having a conversation with you. Doesn't even care. He's just silently kind of cleaning glasses and stuff. You see the young lad behind the bar. He opens up a bottle, puts it on a platter with a cup for you. Looks you over, takes that cup off and puts on a slightly bigger cup. Then tips his head to you as he sends her back over with your alcohol in your cup. And you see him. He is chatting everybody up at the bar. I mean, just talking to everybody, and everybody he talks to, when he walks away, they got a smile on their face, you know. But that old man behind the bar is the exact opposite. If he's the sun in the morning, this other man isn't even the moon. He's just a dark night, just standing there, you know. But it's a very strangely welcoming atmosphere, but you can still feel that tension in the air. There is a lot of money coming through this place. As you look around, even with your insight of 6, but with your perception, you can see there's a lot of, especially the men playing cards, they're dirty men playing with lumps of silver, not minted coins. Like these guys, they work for that, come here and blow their money, only to head back and do it all over again. You know, this is the type of town it is. This is a silver town. As you're doing that, you can turn around and you can head out.
I'll have a nice hour's bath and then I'm going to come back.
And it is impossible to miss that scent of lavender. As you're walking through, you're kind of like, I don't know, it's so dark. You're used to like Solace and Flint Forge, where they have lights burning, on the streets. There's no torches out or anything like that. It's dark. If it's not light inside the building, it's just darkened streets. But that you follow your nose to that bathhouse and easily find it.
I trust in the eye too.
They have very large. They have 6. It's in a single room. They have a very, very large bath that is heated that you can get into. They have individual baths, and then they have a smaller section where you heard of this before, where they would take a bucket and they'd punch holes in the bottom of it, and then they pour buckets of water as men stood under to wash them. They call them showers. This place, you don't know how, but they seem to have showers that you can just turn a lever and water comes out. Well, you haven't seen that even in Solace.
Well, I'll be paying for an individual room for some privacy.
There's no individual rooms.
Well, fuck me.
You can pay for a tub. It's all one big room. In this one big room, there are men and women.
Computer baby.
And this is something you are not used to. As you walk in, it's that there is simply from the front entrance when you walk in, there's a small little foyer where they have a standing desk and a very, very pretty young woman standing behind there.
I'll be talking to her before I go into
Yes.
the box.
You see what looks to be a velvet curtain that separates this room, and you can feel the heat radiating from the other room. I mean, it's not quite sauna hot, but there's definitely heated water on the other side of this curtain. When she sees you, you can see that she's got beads of sweat all over her face, which doesn't diminish her good looks or the smile that she has either. Oh, welcome, hon. How can I help you?
Well, I'd really like to have a bath drawn for me.
Oh, are you needing assistance with this bath?
Well, no, I was wondering if you have maybe a private space.
Oh, sorry, honey. We don't do private around here. Down here in Tethys, bathing is more of like a community type thing. It's more like a time to get with your neighbor and converse over certain things, you know?
Well, I had
Measure him up, as you say.
a few injuries in the war. I might startle them all out of the baths.
You're not going to startle anyone else than old man Perkins back there who's walking around stark naked the day he was born. You're not going to...
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, hon, no, trust me, we've seen all kinds of war injuries around here. People missing limbs. People have seen some terrible things. If you're thinking about judgment, ain't nobody going to judge you here, honey.
Well,
And you might meet yourself a nice friend back there too. You know, this is a good time to. Well, we're starting to wind down, but there's a fair few folk back there that'll chat your ear off a bit if you're interested.
well, is there any place in town where I can clean up proper like and be alone?
Well, if you get rid of that alone part, if you want some privacy while you take a bath, you can head your way on down to the Broken Heart Mill and get yourself a room and nice. dirty lady there will help assist you bathe.
Well, that's not.
I'm sure.
Oh no, that's with a lady.
I'm sure if you pay a premium, maybe they leave you alone, which is probably for the best.
Fuck. Thank you for your kindly sales pitch, but
Are you sure? Look,
I'll
we
be
have
going.
the absolute best baths here in
you
Brownwater.
may have the best bath, but there's no privacy.
Oh no, but you sit in that copper tub, it's tall enough that once you get in, ain't nobody gonna see nothing. And once you're covered up with that water, oh trust me, all your stress is gonna melt away, baby.
Well, thank you very much. You have a nice evening. I tip my hat.
No, you see her smiling as the unintentional kind of embarrassment has set in a little bit. She just kind of giggles to herself as you walk out the door and make your way toward the walk of shame, towards the Broken Heart Mill.
No, I'm going back to the Welcome Embers.
Okay, so you're gonna head back to the Welcome Ember. Okay. As you head back there, so while that's going on, the two of you have your steak and you have your cider. You guys see that giant of a man sit down at a table, and I mean, as you're sitting there, you can look over and you can still see him, like over the crowd. You can just see the top of his head, that shock of blonde hair that he has, just in the room as he's sitting down playing cards. Like I said, the steak you get is cooked a little much, but it's hot food. That cider is absolutely delicious, and once you get past, after you finish like your first cup of it, you get past that burning sensation on your tongue, and you're able to drink a bit more. It goes down far too quickly and far too easily. I would like both of you to go ahead and roll me another perception check, please.
Are you the White Shack? That's what it sounded like.
That's
6.
He's 8 feet tall.
So
It's
you,
just like,
as you're
Yo,
standing
you
there,
look tiny. Jesus.
your very, very trained senses are dulled a bit, as you were not prepared for this. Like, you typically, when you get a drink, you get a sipping drink, like usually whiskey or even as a sipping drink, this stuff is, wow, this stuff is powerful. This is, I mean, you're seeing hardened men drink 3 or 4 of these cups, and they're down for the count. They're stumbling around, or they're singing at the top of their lungs. They got no reservations anymore. As you sit there and drink, though, you pick up on a few different conversations. A table that's actually right behind you has 3 older-looking gentlemen in there. One has the look of probably at one point was a gunfighter. Probably not anymore, though. You hear a couple of bits, not too much, but you hear a couple of bits of their conversation as you're sitting there. You hear the name Holland, and you hear something about him dying recently, but the alcohol is just a little strong. You don't can't quite catch the rest of the conversation that they're having. Just that sticks out to you. Something about Holland and something about him passing, probably about a month ago.
The next time the waitress comes around, I ask her, "Madam, what do you know of Holland?"
As she's kind of sashing you, kind of pointing, she kind of stops in her tracks and comes up, and you need another one, dear.
Yes, yes.
And I'm sorry, you were asking about Holland?
Holland, yes.
Would that be Holland Rock?
Yes.
Well, he was a former master of the town. See, he was one who put Brownwater on the map. His father discovered the town and built it up around it. Matter of fact, the town running as well as it has all these years, we had to thank for him. But about a few years ago, he passed on his title to another man, and about a month ago, he sadly passed away. We've been reeling from that loss ever since. It's not been easy without him. He was a great man. He touched all of our lives. He's sadly missed. Sadly missed.
Natural causes?
Well, she kind of looks around, looks over at you. Roll me a persuasion check.
15 plus 5, 20.
You flash your brightest pearly white smile, which isn't a common thing around these parts, and that exotic, little tilt that you have to your smile, that purple skin you have, the curled horns. Something it just catches her right at that right moment. She kind of leans in real close where you can actually smell the sweat from her work, from her working on her shift. She's probably been at this for a fair few hours. You get that very, very faint hint of cinnamon that she probably uses, as a scent, for herself. She gets in real close and whispers to you, even low enough that Cheer, even across the table, can't hear with the piano playing. Here's, well, if it's to be believed, the new master of the town, he goes by the name of Sevenson. Some say that he was gonna usurp Seven Son and retake over as master of the town, because he didn't like the way Seven Son was doing things, and well, rumors start to fly around that happened, and suddenly he's dead.
Interesting.
Yeah, you didn't hear from me, huh? Now let me get you back with your drink, all right? I'll be right back.
Thank you.
And she sashays away. A few minutes later, you have another cup, and you're about halfway done with your cider. And the prospect of another full cup begins to dawn on you after a moment. At this point, you've kind of finished your steak, finished your food. You got a very full belly, and I mean, this is a steak meant for like a normal-sized person. This is probably like a 12-ounce hunk of meat, and you ate it all. I mean, all of it. You cleaned the bone. So you're very full. Yeah, you're very full. Yeah. You're gonna name it Deborah, and it's gonna be a kid tomorrow. What are you doing anything else at this point? And yeah, you're just kind of belching and enjoying your food, baby, when you see him have a private conversation with this girl for a second. Then she walks away and brings him back another glass with a smile on her face.
Now look at her and go.
She'll bring you another one. You do anything else, or?
When she leaves, so.
Interesting stories. Maybe I'll tell you later. The new master. Well, after she leaves again, I was like, the new master might have put down the old master around here.
Cute friends and treat.
It does. I should check this out.
During this time, while they're having a conversation, you've seen this. Fion, you kind of let things just kind of happen around you as you just kind of sit there watching people and things. Everything's kind of weird to you, just a little bit. Are you doing anything of import, or are you just kind of watching?
You said people have cleared out. How much has that din gone down?
Probably by a quarter of the way. They're packed in just this room. What's in this room and outside on the porch itself, or the kind of weird balcony around the building, there's probably a good 120 people at its height. Now it's probably down to about 80.
Yeah.
So there's enough seating room. You can find yourself a table. You may be able to stand at the bar. You can sit down as every seat's taken, but
I gravitate towards the piano.
It's a strange machine. It's a gigantic box. It has these weird white keys on it, and some have black keys. And it has foot pedals. And you see, this guy is just, every time he pushes one of those white keys, it makes a noise. And he's doing it in this sequence that's playing this weird song.
Hey.
And now that you've been here for about an hour, you get the feeling he only knows the one song.
Is she near us, or our table? We are near the guys with the ladies.
What was your perception check?
For this recent one was a 6.
So you're just too engrossed in your food. Yeah. You're too engrossed in your food to really notice anything else that's happening around you. You only notice him. You can just see the top of his head. Yeah. You don't see what's going on at his table.
Occasionally, my tail comes out and wipes her face with the napkin.
Probably blood and
Does it go up to your mouth so you can lick it first?
You really should keep yourself more clean.
So are you doing anything else of import, or are you just kind of people watching?
Bobbing along to the music at the moment.
Okay.
And kind of gripping at my pan flute underneath my poncho at the moment.
So you're trying to build up the nerve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you eventually build up the nerve?
Yes.
About how long does that take?
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. So you've been watching for an hour.
I'm listening to the song. Making sure.
Are you trying to go to the song?
I figured I'd accent him a little bit.
Am I back for this?
I was gonna act as his.
By the time you get back is when she really starts to like finally kind of build up the courage. You see her pull the pan flute out, and she begins to put it to her lips and begins to play. As soon as you start playing, you see the piano player just like slump his shoulders a bit, look over at you, and you can just see relief.
When I hear him playing, I pull out my
Her.
When I hear her playing,
Check your privilege. Purple man.
I pull out
Damn, friggin' tieflings in your tiefling privilege.
Your
It's not
purple
top
privilege.
hat.
That dapper young
Okay, so
gentleman.
as soon as that's
He's
happening,
very dapper.
You speak such of color.
the
Oh.
the vibe changes a bit, and you can clearly hear a change to the music. As it's more, it's not quite as lively, it's very different, but you see him very gratefully take a glass of water off of there, and he slowly drinks it, and he watches you play as you kind of dance around a bit playing your flute.
Aye.
You will actually get some rapt attention. I would actually like you to go ahead and roll me a performance check, please.
Okay, let's hope I
I
don't.
was like, I would attempt.
Let's hope I don't squash it like Sonny
I'd
did
like
the first
to-
time we attempted this campaign.
I'd like to attempt to do it.
Right?
So you're going to attempt
Watch
to
me
help?
do just
Yes.
that.
Okay, so while this is
Okay.
happening, as you take out your pan flute, what do you pull out?
Harmonica.
Okay, so he pulls out a harmonica and begins to help you, giving you advantage on the roll.
Oh, really? Well, fairly
While
well.
all this is happening, can I petition one of the saloon
flat.
girls
There we go.
to dance with my primal magnetism?
Okay, so while that's happening, so would you roll?
It got bumped up to a 21.
21!
From
Very
16.
nice! The atmosphere, there's a sudden shift in the atmosphere as a very low pan flute begins to go out and the piano abruptly stops and the pan flute begins to rise in pitch and heads turn from tables. You see cards laid down on the table as people look over as a very oddly beautiful woman begins to play a pan flute, and after she's about two bars into the music, you see the tiefling fellow that you guys saw earlier pull a harmonica out of his fancy suit jacket and begins to play along with her, and they harmonize beautifully. At first they're playing almost the same song as the piano player, but then they begin playing more like Southgate chanties, like drinking songs and things like that. Things that especially some of you recognize very clearly, which kind of puts you in a pretty good mood, puts a smile on your face, kind of pulls at the corners of your mouth a bit. As you're moving about, because you guys are performing so well, as Tilsa comes about, the slightly older one, she comes through and you two catch eye together. What do you say?
May I have a dance?
Roll me a
Bonus.
persuasion check.
You know what you do. You pull
So
a Danny DeVito and you
that
ask the
is
tallest woman in
Plus
there to dance.
2. 14.
14. She stops for a moment, takes the tray that she's holding, hands her the glass that's on it to just a random person, puts the thing on the bar, and I'd love to. And looks over, goes, Dad, I'm going to take 10. And she begins dancing around with you. Very traditionally Southgate dance, like kind of Bonnie, brawly dance. Lots of leg movement, like very much. As you guys begin dancing, kind of a space clears out and you see a couple of other people. You see Tomlin. He hops up over the bar, runs up to just a random, woman who seems to be sitting among other women, but kind of alone. Asks her for her hand and she joins him and they begin dancing. After a few minutes, you see several gentlemen approach Nat and attempt to get Nat to dance. And Nat very callously tells them to where they can stick it. And goes about doing her job. as she serves, as she walks by, sees your cup kind of empty, picks up your bottle and fills up your cup. You hear her grumbling about Tilsa taking any opportunity she can to take a break. And then she moves on. And you're kind of caught up in it too for a minute, but of course, cards are to be played. And
Do people start watching?
everybody kind of like has their hands on their cards, kind of watches for a
I'm gonna
minute.
stack the deck while they're watching.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand, please.
You're welcome.
And because I'm gonna technically give you assist because of them. So
16.
16. Okay. It seems as if when Nat walked up, you just move your hand away from the cards as she comes up, and she gives you a very evil smile when she sees that. And
The girl.
I'll
after
drop a tip on the tray.
after she mumbles that, she turns, looks back and sees you just drop. You put a note or some coins or
Yeah, I'll put 2 gold.
2 gold. She, I knew you were going to be a better tipper. I just knew. And she tucks it into her blouse.
I don't tip nice people, but assholes get extra.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. And she moves on. He kind of gives you a sly wink and moves on about her day. So that's going to go ahead and give you advantage on your gambling roll that we'll make her at the end of this. It's definitely the changes. You got the 2 of you play for how long?
Until I get tired.
Okay. Go ahead and real quick, just roll me a Constitution check.
That's a
couple
of songs, yeah.
Okay. So you're just doing a couple of songs, or do you try to match your pace with her?
If she goes beyond an hour, I'll stop.
Okay.
I was just about to say about an hour. Oh, hey, look, a natural 19 plus 1, so it's
Okay, so you can definitely make an hour, but that's about, I mean, you're
Yeah.
exhausted after that. So let's go ahead and get a Constitution check from you.
2 plus.
I might be playing for much shorter.
That's well enough.
It's a
14.
Yeah, you can, I mean, you're getting,
Barely.
your lungs are starting to hurt a little bit after about an hour of playing, but after about that, it's a bonny time that you guys have. You guys only dance for maybe about 10, 15 minutes, and then, they get back to work and everything, and Tomlin claps you on the back and, tells you, great idea, great idea, wee dwarf, great idea. Like, come on to the bar, we'll get you a drink. And he hops
Hey,
back over to the bar.
I'm interested in renting a room.
Oh, definitely. Come on. And literally, when I say he jumps over the bar, he vaults over the bar, lands. You just see the dad just kind of shake his head as he does it. And he's just like, what? Turns around and so you're going to be needing a room, are you?
Right.
Good news is, while everyone here loves to drink, not many people buying the rooms lately. Most people, most of them, they're settling in for good. So right now, we got some spare rooms. I got 4 spare rooms to be exact. You need one, or you need one for your friend too?
Good. He'll pay for his own.
Okay.
I'll pay for mine.
All right. Well, how long are you going to be wanting for? Get a special rate if you rent for a week.
It depends on what the special rate is.
Well, it's $1 a night, or it's $5 for the week.
Good.
Or a note a night, or 5 notes for a week.
Well, I'll be hard.
Now, just so you guys know, those prices are exorbitant. Like, holy Jesus, that's a gold piece. A gold piece a night. That's insane.
Well, I'll be thinking that's right nice of you, but that I'm not going to say that's a fair price.
Fair price around here. I mean, if you want, you can go to the Bent Pig Pub, but they got fleece. We got no fleece in our beds. Our beds, brand new. You ever slept on a feather mattress?
Well, how about
Feather
I
mattress will
pay
change your life. No more back pain.
3 notes for 5 days?
I can do 5 notes. See, I can do 5 notes for 3 days.
Oh, do you know math?
No, but I can give you 5 notes for 7 days.
Well, we'll be in charge of this establishment.
And he looks over at the very, very hefty man who seems to be cleaning cups and looks like he's very badly cooking food.
I'll take me chances with the large one over there. Your father.
He just smiles and goes, "Good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you." And he goes and helps another customer. He does that. It takes you a while to get the old man's attention, but finally he does, and he kind of takes his hands, covered in food, and just wipes them on an already dirty apron, approaches you, kind of leans on the bar. You can hear the wood creaking as he leans on the bar. Yeah.
I'd like to rent a room. What'd you charge?
It's one night, 5 notes for a week.
Oh, thank you for your time.
Gets back up, goes back over there, and continues cooking the food. So during this point, you, Darius, as you enter this room, or as you enter, it's set up very much like an apartment building. The apartments themselves must be tiny though. Maybe 20 feet square for each one. That's it. I'm sorry, 30 feet square for each one, and that's it. As you open the door, you see that there is an opening, almost a long hallway that opens up. So you can see that there are rooms around the second floor, and there's rooms on the first floor. And where the room that you're standing in now, when you open the door and step inside, appears to be like a concierge. There's a woman very buxom looking woman, who sits behind the desk. As soon as you walk in, she gives you a very, very wide, toothless smile as she sees you, and, "Hi, welcome, dearie. Welcome to the Broken Heart Mill. How can I help you?"
I'm looking for a place to stay tonight, ma'am.
Oh, well, are you looking for sleeping, or are you looking for something else?
Depends on the quality of something else.
Oh, we have the best in town. Only in town, in fact. So what you looking for? You're looking for top shelf, you're looking for second shelf, or are you looking for bottom shelf?
It's been a minute, so I'd rather top shelf. Than...
Top shelf? All right, that's going to cost you 5 notes for the night.
Do I get to see what I'm purchasing beforehand?
Nope! But I promise you, it's the best looking girl I got. She's currently available.
Yes. Hello, no.
God damn, that's as high as you can go.
I think
You're fumbling as you're pulling the money out of your wallet to pay for this apparently super attractive girl who just happens to be free. You slam, 5 notes on the table, or gold, your choice, on the table in front of her. She goes, "Room number 7. Go in, be ready, have yourself tensed up, ready to go, okay? Don't let her catch you unawares." As you go up to room 7, which is apparently on the second floor, and appears to be, there actually looks like there are 4 larger rooms at the far end. There's those rooms appear to be probably like maybe 40 feet wide, wide as opposed to 30 feet. They seem to be a little more spacious. When you knock on the door opens, and the woman standing behind has very dark hair that cascades down her shoulders. She is already in traditional garb, which means she's wearing nothing. You can tell that she has probably bathed in rose water within the last few hours, as you get a very pungent smell of roses. But it's not that pleasant smell. It's like someone who wears way too much perfume and doesn't realize that everywhere they go now smells like them 4 hours afterwards. It's like that level. You can barely see the small tusks that jut out from her bottom lips, as it looks like she kind of files them down a bit to be just a little more attractive to the non-orc clientele that she tends to get. Fairly prominent brow, but looks like she's in fairly good shape and takes care of herself. As she opens the door, you have enough time to look down and up before she's reaching for you, grabs you by the lapels, and pulls you to the room. The door slams, and there are screams in the night.
So before you see him get grabbed in, you just hear him in Orcish, just like, "Oh fuck, not again." It ain't the first orc day.
Goldstock!
Ain't the first orc day's fucked.
So you have yourself a fairly
raucous night.
You have yourself a fairly raucous night yourself. You awake in the morning, a little worse for wear. But the cost comes with the night for the room. You're not you've been in some seedier places where it's like 2 bits a gander type deal, where
God, it's almost
like,
as if I was a criminal.
yeah, like 4 bits, to be there for 10 minutes type thing. This at least got you, 5 notes got you the night. And very quickly, as the sun begins to creep into the room, you are half awake before you are pushed out of the room, holding your bundle of gear in your arms, with just your boots on, pushed out in the hallway, and the doors slam behind you.
I'll get dressed in the hallway.
Yeah, you slowly get yourself dressed, and you're able to head to Sheriff Wolverus in the morning if that's your plan.
Yeah.
But
Is my dick bent?
she was
Asking the real
very,
questions
very vigorous. It's that we're not going to get too deep into it, but it's that terrifying, like when it's just you're like, don't go so high, like stop going so far away and just coming back, because if I misjudge, you're just yeah. Well, that's as far as we're going to go with that. But anyway. The rest of the night, you guys have yourselves an interesting night. By the time you finish up, it's around midnight, and the place is really, really coming down. The piano player thanks you very much. Doesn't continue to play, but he gets finishes a couple of drinks himself, and he walks off into the night. Yes.
I will buy us a room.
Okay.
I will stop her and ask the waitress, what is your price for the rooms?
It's a note a night or 5 notes for a week.
Well, since we helped entertain your guests, how about 3 notes for the week?
How about 5 notes for a week? Because Daddy doesn't negotiate for the rooms. I mean, if you want, you can ask him, but
You know what? I think I will.
okay.
I go over to him.
At this point, he's done cooking and stuff. He's just basically cleaning up. It takes you a minute to get his attention. When you do, he comes over to you and he leans on the bar, and you can hear the wood creak under his very vast weight. And he gets his face very close to yours.
And without flinching, I understand that your rooms are 5 notes a week.
Yes.
But I did help entertain your guests, and I thought maybe 3 notes might be appropriate.
We had no deal about you entertaining my guests.
Oh, I understand. I just...
That's why I pay. And he points to the piano player who's walking out the door, like sauntering out the door. Get with him if you want pay for tonight. It's 5 notes for a week.
Obviously,
rooms are in high demand, and people around here got coin or they got notes. If you want feather beds, I got a room. If you want to have with your little friend over there, I got a room with 2 beds in it that you could have for 5 notes for a week or a note a night.
All right. It's gonna be 5 notes, Jeff.
Cheer!
Whatever, it's gonna be 5 notes.
You can always
You're going to
Feel all 5 notes?
Yeah.
Fiona's going to approach you.
He pulls
and wants
out
to see
a
your
very
weapon- and wants to see
fancy-looking
your
ledger,
instrument.
which this place very much has
Sounds
the air of someplace attempting to be posh. Like it's trying real hard to be high class, but it is definitely downtown, beer budget type thing, just playing at aristocracy. But he pulls out a very, it's a nice leather-bound journal with filigree on the edges, opens up a page, and I mean, he's right, he will pay, because he flips to almost 3/4 of the way through this thing, finds a blank spot and has you make your mark, takes your 5 notes, marks when you're in. He says, you're out nightfall of the 7 days from tonight.
Oh, all right.
He sprinkles some dust on the ink, then closes the book.
You're going to get approached about your instrument. Not that one.
Okay, so guess we'll finish you up with the...
No. Cheer in the room. No.
Don't insult this fine young lady over here.
Then room with cheer.
We're
You
not
won't show
talking
her
about
the
the
Foot
room.
Locker.
Yes. How may I help you?
See your...
Oh, my harmonica.
Ah,
It does act
cheer
like a
thing.
pamphlet.
Yeah, it's
About something.
it's fairly similar, but it seems like a pamphlet you can't cover really to get to many different noises. It's all about your own breath making different noises, but it's an evolution of a pamphlet.
It does make a rather nice noise, doesn't it?
Oh, this purple
thank
gummy
you.
worms. Cheers, huh?
You're hairy. You're not as hairy.
You're short.
You know why you're so
You get that.
you're so confused about this? I have a tail.
Actually, interesting point of order is, from a distance you can't tell, but now that when you get up close, you can definitely tell she is completely covered head to toe in very fine hair.
I'll touch
As
your
well
arm
as-
a little bit, like
And she
Tattoos.
does have almost like tiger stripe like
Tattoos.
patterns.
you should just go like that to the arm where she can touch it.
You're not around. You're from around here, are you? We don't see
Just keeps
many
doing
of
that.
your kind. Of course, you don't see many of my kind either.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let people wander.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
and yours?
Um,
How many tieflings have I seen?
In the big cities, you've probably seen a fair number. Moving around about, probably not as much. They suffered really badly when the portals closed, during the Civil War. During Star's Fall, when the world changed quite a bit, you know that they suffered quite a bit. They're basically children of two worlds, and now they're cut off from that other world.
Have I seen another one of her race before?
Roll me a history check.
That would be a 15.
You know that she is a shifter. Though you're unaware of what kind of shifter she would be. You've heard about them. You haven't really seen many in person. I mean, most of them are literally in circuses and things like that. Like they're sideshows. Very few you see just walking around. But here's one.
You think you're lucky. Not in circus.
Circus?
You've seen
don't
kind
mind my
of circus.
unintentionally insulting friend.
And?
You're not in circus.
What's a circus?
It's a wandering place of entertainment.
Sound like she could physically talk down to anybody though.
That is true.
Not physically.
Stumpy.
So, what are you doing for accommodation?
I just want to go to sleep.
So you just go outside and find a place to go to sleep?
Do you think
Go ahead and roll me
you
a
sleep
survival
with
check,
us?
please.
I thought you said
Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
No, not you.
Yeah. Why don't you do put that forward?
Yeah,
But
you can
it's
have
like, I run a city, I don't know what to do.
Oh, so do you take up her offer?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So the three of you sleep in the room with two beds?
Just
Chair bed, hairy lady bed, kind of floor.
No.
Chair pay for bed, tile sleep.
I paid for your steak.
You'd not go chair? Can negotiate with hairy lady.
No. You're small. You fit in the same bed.
You'll not sleep with hairy lady.
No.
while you two are busy arguing about that, Fionne's already found a nice comfy corner, plopped her bedroll and her poncho down on the bed and went to sleep.
Problem solved.
When you walk into the room, you see her do a very strange display. She kind of walks around, pulls the poncho off, which exposes her, but it's odd. She's definitely nude under the poncho. It's just the poncho. She wears nothing under it. But there's this weird kind of layer of hair that kind of gives her some protection, but there's definitely, she definitely covers herself for a reason. As she kind of curls up on the floor and goes to sleep. What?
We need to turn up the volume a bit.
On what?
I think on the stream itself.
We can do that.
Yeah,
Is it that quiet?
I'm not sure.
We can work on that. Just not today.
Is that the volume thing? Which way do I twist that?
I'm not sure. Let me-
It doesn't have an
Okay,
indicator on it.
we're going to take a quick second
Quick
just to
break,
make
sorry,
sure.
and then the cameras would go off.
That's good.
Look,
Except
we
for the
can
DM camera, but
finish this and go take a...
Hold on, let me look at this real fast. See what they're talking about.
Like she tries the bed once. It's like,
Is it?
Well, all right, Chair. She has taken care of it.
Sounds good.
You sleep well.
If anything,
Nice lady.
actually, we need to turn off that light. Actually, no.
No.
Yeah,
It's I am super bright.
but now
Do we
we're
need that
dark.
back on?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Got these lights.
I am super bright.
Do we need it back?
Yeah, those lights
yeah.
are going to be terrible.
But it's just because of the camera. Sorry about the camera. We're having we're working on a couple of issues, but we're getting. it
Yeah,
taken
I was
care
trying to fiddle
Uh,
with the
but-
camera settings and stuff. It wouldn't.
of. Yeah, we'll leave it on. Okay. Sorry for that. But if it is really quiet, sorry, but it's sounding good on YouTube and Twitch as far as I can hear.
We'll see what
yeah.
we can do.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do down the road
Yeah.
to
Oh, no,
fix
just
that.
a couple of us need to talk
Uh,
about it. That's it.
Okay, that
Oh.
works.
Okay.
Okay,
I
that
think I
makes
know
sense.
Quiet people.
Yeah.
Louder.
Yeah, that makes sense because we had that problem before. Okay, so
I'll make my grunts louder.
One Eye.
Why?
What are you doing for accommodations tonight?
Well, fuck the 5 notes per 7 days. I'll go sleep with the sheriff.
Okay, so you take him up on his offer.
Why?
It's a steel slab that you sleep on, but it's free. When you walk in, you see it's him behind the desk, and there's 2 deputies sitting on the other side of the desk. As soon as you walk in, the conversation they have dies on their lips, and Wolver looks over at you and trouble finding accommodation.
Well, they want fucking 5 notes for 7 days.
Well, there's a lot of money through this place, you know. Like, you gotta understand, you're competing with men who work that silver mine, and I mean, there's tales of guys just literally pulling fistfuls of silver out of that place.
That PS it may, but they're freaking robbing them.
Well, there's money, there's gouging.
Fucking
But-
plunkers.
Cell 3's open if you want to get yourself some shut-eye.
Oh. Many thanks. I've got my bedroll.
Now, do you attempt to eavesdrop in their conversation or no?
Yeah, I'll listen in.
Okay, so what I would like is a deception check to pretend to be asleep. Because they literally wait until you lay down before they begin their conversation again.
Not happening.
What is it?
It will be a 4.
4? Okay. You kind of snore. You try to pretend to snore a bit, but the conversation gets a bit lower, and with your pretend snoring and them getting, drawing closer together, it becomes real hard to pick up on the conversation. There is one word that you hear, and you only hear because it's repeated several times. That word is Harless.
Harvest.
It's my
Okay.
medication alarm.
Well, I'll think to myself, well, fuck it. I'm not going to get any more than Harvest, so I'll be getting some shut-eye.
Okay. And over to Gunner. So, Gunner, while you're playing, you've managed to stack the deck. Few of these guys seem like they're getting ready. The way they talk to each other, they work the same mine. And they actually work, they continue to mention a place that they refer to as, let me pull it up here, and a whole lot of notes.
That pencil
I'll
sucks.
tell you about it.
They call
I'll just write it down.
Octase.
Octaves?
Yeah. That's Octase mine. It's apparently the 6 different mines all have different names. So Octase is the one that they said they're going to be heading back to in the morning. Those 2 bow out first, and you play a couple more hands with the last gentleman there, just one-on-one, and then he bows out as well. So because we're going to give you advantage because you made your sleight of hand, I want you to roll me a gambling check. So that's going to be you're attempting to bluff your way through, correct?
How else would I do it?
You could attempt to continue to stack the deck with cheating with dexterity,
Yeah.
but that has a higher DC than because you've already stacked the deck, so you could simply try to bluff now, or you can try to play to insight to play. So you can either you're using
I'm
wisdom.
gonna watch his ticks. to
Okay,
see
so
if
that'd be
he's-
more wisdom. Okay, so go with your wisdom plus your gambling. So you're proficient in gambling. So that's 2 plus with your wisdom
Yeah.
modifier.
Trying to think if I just want to stack the deck at that point. Let's see.
Stacking the deck has, especially one-on-one, has a higher DC.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I have a
The,
wisdom modifier.
the distraction's not there anymore.
No.
Unfortunately, it went to bed.
I'd just.
Fionn will take a moment to pray to
I'll try
Erroll's
and
eye
read it.
before going to sleep.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Okay.
That's a 20.
20. Okay. So with your stacking the deck and that, you managed to make off. Mainly, they've been playing for silver, and you're actually the money that you paid, the $2, you got that in chips. Okay, so you're playing with chips, and it's mainly silver bets. You actually walk away, all said and done, with 10 notes from the table.
So plus 3.
Plus, well, you paid 2 notes for the table, so you walk away.
5 total
you know,
with the
yeah,
bottle and
yeah. So you walk away, and
the tip.
that when you go to stand up is when you're like, whoa, oh, you like kind of sit back down a bit. Like,
really drinking, just looking like I'm drinking.
oh, okay. So you're just kind of
Screwing them? Yes.
yeah. So that worked into your deception a bit. Though you had maybe 3 glasses out of the bottle in the 5 hours you were playing cards, and even that's like, damn, that like you probably could have taken them for more, but that stuff is so potent. Like holy Jesus, that stuff is potent. But as it dies down, at this point it's past midnight. What are you going to do for accommodation?
Nat. Smartass Nat, right?
At this point, you see she's just kind of sitting at a table. She's got her feet up, and she's like, "Yeah, Shug, how'd you do?"
I win.
Good.
I usually win. Anyway, is there a bed in this hole?
Oh, yeah, we got rooms. It's a note a night or 5 notes for a week.
Right, 5 notes.
She takes 5 notes, kind of gets up and grumbles as she stands up from her chair, goes over and, Dad, the ledger. And he opens up the ledger and she just kind of plops it up, opens it up, shuffles through a couple of pages until she gets to a blank one. And you go to right down there and you see just above yours is
Very big print.
very big print,
Cheer.
cheer. And Calic.
No, his is tiny. I write his
Yeah,
like
cheer.
super small.
And Calic. I'm sorry.
Caliph.
Caliph. Excuse me.
Write my name in.
You see that half-stacked Yule Cup flop wandering around here? The one with one eye telling me can crash on my floor.
Oh, I think he left about an hour now, Sugar.
Whatever.
Yeah. Take bed 2. It's the biggest bed we got.
You gonna fit?
Oh, it's the biggest one we got. It's made for people your size.
Good.
Now, as she, they get cleaning up and stuff, and she walks out the door. She waves at her dad. Tomlin walks out, so does Tilsa. It's just the old man who kind of stays behind. He just stays in the bar. You see him put his feet up, crosses his arms, and you just see him, his chin kind of rest on his chest as you walk up the stairs. When you open the door to your room, you realize Nat is kind of a dick, as that's probably the smallest bed you've ever seen in your life.
Love it.
Oh man! This bed's fit for a dwarf. Where's the adult-sized one?
Plenty of room on the floor. And you hear snores.
This ain't floor prices, you old fuck.
You hear snores.
Roll the mattress up as a pillow and pass out on the floor.
Surprisingly comfortable. Like, they weren't lying about these mattresses. They're great. And if they were your size, it'd be way better. But it's, yeah, you can, and even sleeping in here, you're not on the cold, hard earth, rocky, dirt in your face the whole night. It's surprisingly restful. And it's birds tweeting outside your window that wakes you up as you look, and you can see the early light of morning just creeping over the horizon. Got probably 3 fingers of sun on the horizon at this point.
Go downstairs.
As you're making your way downstairs, you get a very, very mouth-watering scent of bacon.
Cheer said I could have her share of the bacon.
As you walk down, you say that as you see Cheer and Callus sitting down, as well as the strange, oddly good-looking woman sitting kind of with them. The flutist from last night. Are you partaking in the food?
The skin food.
She's
Until someone swats my hand.
they got knife and fork and stuff. You see her just picking it up and shoveling it in her
Chips
mouth.
don't
and
know
eating.
large man.
That's some purple
Should
yogurt
not give
better.
bacon.
Sit on their
Oh,
table,
well,
pull some bacon off somebody's plate.
As soon as you sit
Not
down,
jitters.
you see Nat walk over with a big smile on her face. She plops a plate down in front of you that is just heaping piles of cut potato, like sliced up potatoes, and just the thickest, fattiest bacon you've ever seen in your life that makes your mouth water. Sleep tight.
You're a funny fucker, aren't you?
I've been told once or twice.
Can I get an adult-sized bed for tomorrow?
I think we might have one available. Have you learned your lesson?
What lesson would that be?
Oh, this is going to be fun. And she, with a smile, she kind of walks off and goes back to the bar.
I've been good. I didn't shoot anybody in here last night. Even though it sounded like somebody farting on a drain pipe after that piano player quit.
There's just a rumble from underneath his chair.
Now, you are starving when you wake up. And as you walk out of this place, the scent of bacon in the air has you almost comically, like a cartoon, follow the scent, as it pulls you towards the Welcome Member Inn. When you approach, stick your head in, you can see this group of people there sitting around their tables with very generous portions of bacon and cut up potatoes that make your mouth water.
Can we smell the whore on him?
You,
Probably not.
just
through-
a shame.
Probably
when
not
you
through
wake,
how
as
many
you wake
cigarettes
up.
I chain smoke.
It's not really comfortable where you're sleeping, but at least it's warm and it's not outdoors. When you wake up, you have a kind of a coughing fit from laying so flat in the night. When you do, you hear a deputy just kind of snicker and be like, "If you're hungry, head over to the Amber Inn, man. Get yourself some breakfast."
Would you be answering one question for me?
I mean, I even have time for two. What can I do for?
Is there a tanner or maybe a butcher in town?
We got ourselves a couple of butchers. Fair few butchers there in Squatter's Plot, but may want to be careful around that lot.
Well, I'm looking for one that's not an arse.
Well, that's going to be bad luck for here in Brownwater.
They're all arses?
I wouldn't trust a single one in Squatter's Plot, but you might be able to head just next to Wingren's Scissors. There's a butcher right next there. I can't quite place his name, but if you head on over there, you might talk to him. He's probably going to be your best bet. I mean, he's the only, actual established butcher in town that's not some vagabond layabout, that just kills and skins whatever comes his way.
Why? And the tanner?
Tanner, I'd be heading over and actually talk to Wingren himself and see who he uses. But to be perfectly honest, I think most of the tanning that gets done in this place is more like freelance style work. We don't really have an established one. There's so many people moving
Well,
through
who
here.
makes the saddles?
Well, that would be Wingren Scissors.
Oh,
But the tanning itself is done mostly freelance, I believe. But you can talk to him and see what he could do for you. See how he could help you out.
right.
Your stomach growls loudly all of a sudden. He just kind of laughs for a minute. Why don't you get some grub in you?
Well, I'll get a quick bite, and then I've got to get to work.
Well, Wolverth will be in here in about probably a better part of an hour. Said he was going to want to have himself a chat with you and your friend.
Which one? The big fella?
He just said friend. I'm not sure which.
I don't have many of them.
Then it should be pretty easy to figure out which.
Aye.
Just think of a friend and bring them with. If you don't mind, I'm going to get back to my breakfast. And he dips a spoon into what looks like very, very crappy looking porridge. When you make your way out, you catch that same smell of bacon in the air. And you see there's a fair bit of folk that head to the the Welcome Member Inn and have themselves a seat. When you two approach, you see the four of them chowing down on what looks to be some very fine victuals. I mean, especially in the morning. This is a hearty kind of, stick to your ribs kind of meal. As two of you walk up, you do anything in particular?
I'll go to the bar and order me some food.
So you just walk up and can I have bacon?
You get waved at the second you walk in the door because, You smell like an ashtray.
You see, Fionn,
You smell like a wet ash.
or Phaon, sorry.
But you notice that the two of them have this weird.
Well, when you two enter, you see the young, tall, gangly-looking lad by the name of Tomlin approaches you and... did I forget to mention that accommodation comes with free breakfast? If not, it's half a note for a meal.
Well,
this is
I'll get some
food.
food from you. Some nice pork belly.
Oh, we got plenty of that.
Wonderful. Here's your half a script.
He takes it, hooks you up with a plate. How about you, man? Yeah. He just gets a very dirty, evil grin on his face.
He does have the sense of shame, doesn't
How
he?
does he smell through the... I need him to roll perception check to go past the cigarettes. Because
You
I chain
sm-
smoked the whole way over
You
here.
smell like rose.
Oh.
I don't know.
Have a fun night. I see you got a bit of a limp. You
His
okay?
face betrays nothing.
You might as well put your picture right in front of your face because you can't hold a straight face.
Because you're smiling, but I was gonna say, just
There we go.
He just kind of smiles at you and asks you, "You want a plate?"
I reckon I do.
I imagine so. He goes up and he speaks to his father, big man. You can see he's kind of bleary-eyed and looks like he's just finished up in the morning, going to get himself some sleep. Tomlin comes up and begins talking to him and looks back and points right at you. And I mean, you see this clear as day. And the first smile and chuckle comes out of Norris that you've seen so far. See? And you see him as he's handing the plate, he laughs, grabs an extra couple, probably 2 or 3 strips of bacon and slaps them on the plate, hands it over to Tomlin. Tomlin kind of saunters over, puts it in front of you and says, "Dad gave you extra. Says you probably need it."
I ask him, is there something we should know about that whorehouse?
Oh, well, why don't you go and find out for yourself? Better for me that way.
Yeah. Maybe later.
I'll say this. I'll say one thing about that place.
I'm going to eat with whatever dignity I have left.
If you go with Rose, at least her bed ain't got fleas. Because I hear she eats them. And he turns around and walks away.
While he's talking to Tom, I'm going to grab a piece of bacon off of his plate.
Rose doesn't have leaves.
It's good
thought
bacon.
he said please, and then he just grabs your bacon.
Yes, fleas. Chair.
Cheer!
Exactly.
Cheer!
So the 6 of you now
Accent.
sit fairly close together, easily recognizing the other at this point.
I'll be eating very fast.
And just kind of
You know,
shoving it in.
you can slow down and enjoy that, right? It's not like I'm going to steal your bacon.
Well, where's me now?
Just like deadpan looking at you, she just takes it.
Here's 2.
Darius kind of sits by himself.
I told you there'd be a return.
Right?
Because that's how he sits.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Also got a room upstairs.
Wonderful.
Third lady's name. Cheers, don't look around.
You know what? Was it... I didn't quite get your name. It was with an F, right?
Fanny.
Yeah.
Fionn?
Yeah.
Fanny.
Fionn.
Fanny.
She may say things funny. She even says her own name funny.
Is cheer. Cal can't say
Exactly.
cheer right.
Chair.
Cheer.
Cheer.
Exactly.
Cheer. See, Fanny say right. Cal can't say right.
Manny.
Fanny.
Exactly. Well, we all seem to be seeing each other a lot for being new in this town.
Aye. Well, I'm done with me food. The sheriff wants to talk to us.
I didn't shoot anyone.
All nice.
Sandpaper.
I'm not talking about.
You know what?
Just
He's over
wants
in the
to talk.
corner.
And
Back to the
I'll
wall.
see you all later.
Have a good day. You know, the sheriff did mention something. Maybe we should make our way over there as well.
Cheer like money.
Take the plate with me.
You as you're walking out, you hear Matt like,
I'll be back.
"All right, you better. I know where you sleep.
Hopefully in a bigger bed this time.
We'll see."
Jim, no, thank you. Though.
Scrape Snowflake's plate off on mine.
You know, I kind of like that.
You can't finish it. The amount he gave you,
Yeah.
you can't finish it. And as you slowly stand up and follow, I'm sorry, what do you do? When you slowly stand up finally, you will find you have quite a bit of stiffness in your joints.
Mm-hmm.
And your night was not as restful as it should have been.
No shit. I just crack all my fucking joints.
Stand up, Bruce Lee style, even the ribs. Yeah.
Horrifying.
When
some
they're
help.
fucking gone.
Okay.
Need some help.
No. You can fuck off now.
And what do you do? Phaon?
You can go have a walk about town.
Okay. So you two head to the sheriff's office? And
I'll eventually get to the shower's office once I
What
get
about
motion back in my legs.
Cheer up, Fanny.
so you follow Chit?
Yeah. I guess
Oh, it's shorter than
I
you
suppose
are.
so.
I'm gonna step outside
You know,
after
it's
I
not
stretch
nice
and
to
they're
grab
fucking
people
gone.
like that.
Light up a
You see them
cigarette.
like walking away, yeah, you kind of stretching and you just hear Tomlin burst out laughing as you do.
What you doing? Fanny, look lost.
Listen, old man, it's been a minute since I done fucked an orc, and that's not a normal orc. I'm gonna head on out now.
You're like, I have
Before
fucked an orc
everything goes
before,
numb.
and I can tell you, that's not how it's supposed to be. Okay, so
I'm gonna
as
look
you
at him
all,
Pass him the bottle. Need a drink.
it's got that. Now that you can see it, because you've only seen it in like these clay cups that they have. Now that you can see it, it's a very rich amber color, but it always seems to have like that strange kind of froth around it. It's not like a head like beer, but it always seems, even as he swirls it around, that like stays on top of it. And no matter how you pour it, it always has that on top.
Can I guesstimate how much it would take to not get hammered but take the pain out of my body?
You stuck with whiskey yesterday, so you haven't tried this yet. Do you give it a shot now?
No, I'll take a shot.
When he reaches for it, I'll pull it back and take a drink and laugh and wander over to the sheriff.
So he,
I like a dick.
you hear a whistle from behind you, and you see Tomlin push a cup.
I tell you what, you're trying to get shot. Like, first session trying to get shot.
Yeah, it just has a smile on his face looking at you. From one brother to another. Put it back. And he gave you a shot's worth, basically. Not a full thing, like the whiskey that they have here is sipping whiskey. It's not shooting whiskey.
Yeah.
And you're glad it was just a shot. Because, you knocked this back. And you have to stop for a second and grip the bar. Because it's that, have you ever had Everclear?
Yes.
That punch, that initial just flash of
It
white.
sounds more like Clifton's moonshine. He knows what I'm talking about.
It's bad, okay? But it tastes great. Far better than it should, but it also has a burn that's borderline spicy.
Clifton moonshine, yep.
As you turn around and kind of stagger your way out of the bar, the rest of the group they're in kind of two different sections, but they're walking down towards the bar. You can see there's storm clouds that seem to be gathering in the south, and that embankment of clouds is slowly making its way north towards Brownwater. Look kind of angry. As you all make your way towards the sheriff's office, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Be right back and finish up the game session, okay? Thank you very much, guys, for sticking with us. Let us know right now in the comment. We'll be checking comments and stuff. If there's anything that we can do to improve this real quick, let us know real fast, all right? That way we can either I can yell at people to talk louder or whatever we need to do, all right?
I'll
So
work
let
on
us
it.
know. All right. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes. See you in a bit. Hello and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get to the last third of tonight's game session. There'll be no more breaks from here on out. We're just going to keep on going until we decide we're done for the night. All right. So, Darius,
Yes.
as you finally push open the door to the sheriff's office, you look inside into this now very dark room, especially from the stark outside. Walking through, you've discovered it looks like as wagons pass through the streets of Brownwater, now that you can see in the light of day, it seems as if they pull up bits of mud. Walking through, most of the time, your boots get a little bit muddy, but not too bad. But anything heavy is really bringing up, a lot of mud on their treads and things like that, which gives the city, almost like kind of a dirty looking vibe to it in certain scenarios. That's weird too, because it's fairly barren. Most up here, there's a lot of like loose earth on the top of it. Wind kicks up, you get a lot of dirt in your face, but there's definitely some kind of a low water table in this area, or very high water table, as it were, in this area. It's kind of weird, It strikes you as odd as you're walking through. But you push open the door to the sheriff's office. Your eyes adjust to the very dimly lit room, and you once again see a couple of them milling about and talking to each other of the other 5 other people that were in this office last night with you, talking in hushed tones, a couple of others sitting down, as you see Werlvrith once again with his spectacles upon his snout, and he is filling out some paperwork. As you walk in and the door closes behind you, he kind of looks up, takes the spectacles, tosses them on the desk, leans back, and all right, it looks as if you all are gonna take me up on my offer. You all, as you walk up, you all adverse to working a bit with each other, because some of the work I got a mind for you all to do for me will take more than a few hands to make it quite a bit easier on you. Any of you interested?
As long as
Well,
I
it
get
depends
paid.
on what it is.
Well, for the first time, you see him kind of relax a bit as he puts his feet up on his desk. While the 3 of you have been walking, or the 6 of you have been walking through the city, and boots getting kind of muddy, you can see his are still nice and clean and pristine. As he kind of leans back in his chair, he goes, well, just this past week I lost me a couple of deputies. See, so I'm in the spot of hell. The Aquinus Guild runs the water around here, at least tries to. Real short on people, so I've been having to loan out a few of my deputies over to them, which has left me short-handed, and I got plenty on my plate already. Now, on top of being sheriff, I also work hand-in-hand with the Guillemets Guild. Now, they handle all the mining comes south. So every shipment that comes through here, well, that's my responsibility. So I got my hands nice and full. And there's plenty of work to be had for anyone who's willing to stick their hands in the mud down here in Brownwater and do what needs to be done. You all willing to do that?
Depends. You talking about actual mud? People mud.
If needs be, probably both.
I prefer people mud.
Well, I'm not giving any of you all carte blanche to walk around my city shooting any which way, you understand? Still following all the laws, but you got a little leeway on your side with me, you understand? Someone starts shooting at you, well, maybe the law takes sides of their freelancers a little more seriously than anyone else coming about, you understand?
You need a little extra security, is what you're saying.
Well, I wouldn't call it security, but I definitely got a bit of work that needs doing, if you're all interested.
What kind of work would that be?
Well, for starters, caught ourselves a body yesterday. See? Nice feller, too. Sad to see him go. Gonna miss him. It's a good feller. Name was Edid.
Ed?
Edid.
Edid.
And frankly, I'd like to know who killed him. Problem is, weren't no much information to be found on the body, see, and ain't no witnesses thereabouts to see who did it. But right now, that's neither here nor there.
Can you say how he died?
Well, I can say somebody gutted him like he was a trout. But
Well, I may be able to help with that.
well,
I've seen a fair amount of field cleaning in my time.
well, I no doubt, but I don't want you any which way near a body. You understand? Well, not deputized. But
Yes.
I do have someone that I need to have myself a word with. Now, I don't know if you guys, how long you've been in town now. About better part of a day, maybe a few hours. I don't know if you've heard some of the going abouts in this place. But we got a few issues here. One of them is the Harless brothers. Now, those sorry whoresons, they like to make trouble in my town. And frankly, I'm a bit on the tired side of it. But they have their uses. See, there's not a bit much that happens here within Brownwater that isn't seen by one of the Harless brothers. And my gut is telling me that one of the Harless brothers, whether they're behind it or not, they know who stuck that knife into Edith. And I want you all to find out just how much of that they know.
You know, I might be of some good service with that.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah. Can I ask you something that may be a bit of a sensitive nature?
You can ask what you want.
Mr. Holland, was he was called. I heard he came to a rather unpleasant end, strangely.
You mean Holland? Holland Rollick?
Yes.
Oh, you listen to rumors now, huh? Like, look, Holland Rollick was a great man. Sadly missed. Every day. I'll never forget that man. That man made my life much easier than he could have. He could have made my life live in hell. He saw me coming down here as a brand new sheriff 2 years ago. I'm sorry, 8 years ago. And he was good to me. And I'm sorry to see him go, but look, he was an old man, see? I know there's out there that think Stevenson, that he had something to do with it, but he was an old man and his heart gave out.
You're probably right. How has Sevison done around here?
He's no Holland, but he's done what he can. It's kind of big shoes to fill, you know. He'll get his feet under him, and he'll do right by us in the end, you know. He's just got to he's going through some growing pains here and there, but I have faith. I don't sense in him an evil man, so that gives me hope.
That's
But-
always a good sign.
But I want you to find the Harless brothers. Specifically, I want you to find Egon Harless. Now, you might have a better time finding his brother, Delius. But Delius, I'm sorry, I just got that mixed up. I need to speak to Delius. Egon, he's his younger brother. He may be on the easier side to find, okay? Egon, he's got himself a bit of a gambling problem, but he ain't welcome in the nicer places in Brownwater. Feel me? So, I'd like you to find Delius and escort him to my office. That way, we can have ourselves a little chat. Problem is, they're in Squatter's Plot, so it may be a bit on the difficult side in order for you to find him, but you do as you will.
You wouldn't happen to have any clothes laying around that might fit me? This might stick out a little.
I'm sorry, I'm fresh out. Last time I checked, I was a sheriff, not a tailor.
Thought maybe a person or two died around here might have their effects laying around.
We're not much for grave robbing around these parts.
Fair enough. Well, you get me wrong, but that's okay.
Well, there's now You might go ahead and find yourself over to Wingren Scissors. You might find you some clothes there. He's a bit of jack of all trades when it comes to leather or cloth.
Perhaps maybe something cheap to fit the putt.
That would probably be for the best. You do stand out like a dandy.
And I think the clothes may not only be half of that.
Well, that's for truth. We got ourselves a fair few tieflings within the squatter's plot. Now, I mentioned the Bent Pick Pub. You got to understand that is not a solitary location. Some ground just becomes inhospitable for tent living, and they have to constantly move. Now, you might find Egon there, but there's no telling where the Bent Pick Pub currently is within Squatter's Plot. But that's where you're going to find him. You don't venture out there too much. Careful over there. It's not the nicest of places. You get men hard on their luck. They're willing to do things.
Aye. And your deputies? Do they enforce the law of the North?
That they do, but Squatter's Plot is not a place I send in my deputies unless I'm sending them all in force.
Don't worry, Sheriff. Anything that happens there will happen legal-like.
Good, that's what I want to hear. You got to shoot?
I think I got 5 witnesses that don't say somebody else drew first.
Well, that is the point of me sending a fair bit of you in. Though, I would tread lightly as people tend to get tight-lipped in the Squatter's Plot when they smell a law coming about. Another reason I'm not sending my deputies in there. Harless brothers, they're loved by Squatter's Plot, you understand? And they'll hide them. So you do your best. But you get them here to me, got 100 notes for you. You're not going to find better work unless you want to head to the mines.
Should accept.
He very gently, he's a dragonborn. He's still fairly skinny on the dragonborn side. Most dragonborn are fairly built. He's very almost gangly.
Oh no, he only weighs 180 pounds.
Probably still 200, but he's like 6'6" too.
He's barely
He
there.
reaches out, his taloned hand wraps around yours, and he very gently shakes your hand. All right, picks up his spectacles and perches them back on his face. Hope to see y'all soon.
Yes.
And he goes
The
back to
scyther.
scribbling around.
Put on the scyther. Go change, God.
Oh,
we
yes,
doing
yes.
this?
Come with me. Come with me, chap.
Come, Fanny.
Aye. Well,
Just grabs Fanny's
I
hand.
would like more information.
That's what we're doing. Go in there, we drag him out.
Yes, you
I want more
would.
information about Squatter's Plot.
Fanny's nice.
Where the poor
Yes,
people are.
she is.
Chip the
I'm being
Fanny
dragged along.
very useful.
Okay. All right.
Mostly.
So after having, as you guys exit the sheriff's, you would notice that pretty much everyone who is in there that was with you last night, they're all gone except one person. It's a very disheveled-looking human man, very long gray hair. Face is badly scarred. Looks like burn scars. He says nothing. Jed kind of sits on his bed, stares at the wall. You see when you were in there, when you went to sleep, he had a plate of food that was on there. When you woke up, the plate was empty. And he was still, when you woke up, he was still there just staring at the wall. He looking haggard. Other than that, everyone else looks like they were in there for probably fighting or, brawling and or got caught gambling or cheating at gambling, things like that, and got thrown out, or, thrown in there for the night to teach him a lesson type deal. But this guy, he's the only one still in there. You also know that the sheriff's office is 3-storied, but one of the stories is underground. They do have an underground storage area for prisoners who were a bit more volatile than others, though currently the jail is empty at this point. law in Brownwater is very weird. They definitely follow the Amenis, the Amenis tenets of law. But at the same time, most people just deal with stuff themselves. So law only gets involved when it really has to. No, you guys wouldn't have heard that yet. So, as you all exit the sheriff's office, what are the 6 of you doing? The 2 of you grab this one and begin heading towards.
But first, I let them know. Meet us back in a half an hour at the Amber Inn.
Amber.
Inn. She says everything funny.
Funny learn Calcato.
Well, what do you say? We trust these fuckers?
No, but we can use them.
Aye. We'll meet you.
That seems about our sentiment of you as well.
You will notice. Cherry's
Yeah,
already walking
talk
ahead,
about that.
holding
How
fast.
you talk to
You see, you hear from Fionn as she is pulled away by Cheer holding onto her wrist and begin pulling her towards the city. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show this to you guys. The city of Brownwater the town of Brownwater is fairly sizable, and it's very chaotically laid out. Okay, it looks like at one point it was probably just a giant square that people began building into, and now there's just streets that kind of run random directions. There is a very large hill that sits almost at kind of the center of this town that's very large. They call it 3 Tree Hill, and very obviously because it has 3 very old trees that are set in this hill that you can see at any other point in town. You can see this unless there's a building blocking your way. But I mean, it is a very steep incline after that. And this is the city of Brownwater, drawn by yours truly. You guys at the sheriff's office here, on the opposite end side of the town, as you get over here, you can see at over here at Squatter's Plot, where that's basically where the tent city is. Wingrins, you go ahead and roll me a gather information. Or investigation, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I help?
I was about to say, that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Can she help?
It's very confusing.
Sure,
I have a
yeah,
better
yeah.
investigation than you do.
Do you?
What's yours?
2.
4.
Okay.
You
So
wanna
I'm going to
help
roll
me?
with advantage.
That is going to be a 20.
A 20. Okay, so fairly quickly you guys discover that Wingren Scissors sits right here. So just to the north and down this road here, you guys can find Wingren Scissors. He has a very stylized sign of a pair of scissors with his name emblazoned on them that's attached to the front of this building. His building looks to be fairly small. It has its own small walkway and tethers, or the benches where you can actually tie up your mounts in the front of it. As you walk in, you push the door open. It's actually a glass pane door, which is pretty nice. You hear a bell ring above your head as you open the door, and you see what looks to be a red-skinned tiefling man turn and smile at you. You recognize this man.
Why, strange, you come back to sell things here.
Oh, well, I was looking for work. What are you all doing here?
The same, looking for work.
Well, I think I probably made out better than you all did. You guys recognize him as Edmund,
Edmund, yeah.
though he introduces himself as Sparkfire. Hello. I'm sorry we haven't met. My name is Sparkfire. You hear a voice from the back. Customer? Like, yes. Did you want me to handle it? Like, yes. I'm busy back here. Okay. Hello, I'm sorry, my name is Sparkfire. How can I assist you today? This shop is laid out pretty easily. There's small shelves that are in an aisle, down each aisle with the wares of this place very neatly organized and displayed for easy purchase. not a whole lot of variety in the clothing department, but you can see that there's at least some fairly cheap breeches. There's some fairly cheap shirts that you can find, maybe even a cheap overcoat. Lots of hats, though the hats are more in the Tethys style, which is a smaller hat with a bit like a tighter curve on it that curves down a little closer on the head.
I forgot I do have some clothes.
Cal need clothes. Like,
I don't
clothes.
know. I was thinking he was looking rather dapper.
no.
I do like my clothes, but something that I could work with.
Yes, so we don't want to get them ruined for you. So let's go ahead and he can set you up. It's my first morning of work here, so I can't do much in the way of helping a friend out. But you can help me out.
What do you have in mind?
Oh well, see, maybe I can throw in a note for some of the stuff if you'd be willing to find out something for me.
Oh,
What spike fire?
what kind of what information? I'm good with that.
See, there's he kind of looks around and waves you over to the side real quick and leans in close.
Theon is wandering around sniffing and probably getting a little too handsy with the bolts.
Yes, and he kind of very obviously is ignoring you because he knows if he sees what you're doing, he has to intervene, and he's trying to talk to them. So he's just kind of, as Sparkfire leans forward. And, okay, see, I know you all have tasted it by now, right? That cider that they have, right?
Yes.
That's good stuff, right?
Yes, it is.
You like very much.
They say those apples that they use for it, they only come out of one grove. If you can find me where that grove is, I'm gonna throw a few more notes your way.
And then ignore when they happen to go missing.
Why would they go missing?
Exactly.
See, then we understand each other. What do you say?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, he reaches up and shakes your hand. 20 notes. Location of it.
Yes.
Okay. How much for the clothes today?
For everything, with mine, 3 notes.
Come on, Chet.
Jen, give 1 note.
Help the poor man out.
Cal have money.
Cal spent all of his money already.
No, Cal didn't.
Cal spent all of his money already.
Cheers, smell. Yellow cap chips.
All right, I have 1 note to give to him.
I have 1 note.
You need 1 more.
As
Or
for
he takes the hat back.
I like the hat.
Cal don't need
Come on,
hat.
3 notes and I'll help you out with more.
All right. I hand him 2 notes.
And you're
Give
cheap.
1.
He takes the money.
No, I'm not cheap. She is cheap.
Stuffs it
And
somewhere
then-
under the table or the
Cal's
desk
out of money
that he's standing at. Thanks you and sends you on your way. As you leave, the bell ringing again as the door closes behind you.
Company.
Now, while they're doing that, what are the 3 of you doing?
Table.
Gambling? Trying to find... There's no games at this
I'll
point.
just go sit at the table and
Okay.
start.
Like
working
playing with cards?
Put my bottle down on the table next to me.
I'm gonna head towards squatter's plot.
Okay.
Just like
And what are you doing?
I'll be finding the butcher.
Okay. So you head with them because it's right next to Winger and Scissors.
Okay.
So you actually find it. They say next to Winger and Scissors. It's actually the building that's almost straight south of it. So you can just walk through there and enter inside. You can smell the place before you get there. I mean, it's familiar smell to you. When you open the door, you walk inside, and it's fairly sizable. There's a lot of sounds of some kind of machinery happening in a room just to your right with a closed door, and there's another open room that you're standing in now that has a lot of like display cases almost that's displaying meat, but it's all wood. There's no glass or anything like that. They're all wrapped up in a nice kind of almost parchment paper type deal that are littered about. You can see a younger woman that kind of beams a smile at you as you walk in, and stands up, wiping her hands on her apron as she walks around, and like, "Oh, you're new here. How can I help you? Are you looking for some meat?"
Well, no. I be a hunter by trade.
Oh, I got that. You got that scent off you.
Well, I be wanting to talk to the person who runs this place.
You're talking to her.
Wonderful. Well, I'd like to ply me trade here in Brownwater.
Oh, what did you bring?
Well, nothing now. I'm scoping out various butchers and tanners to sell me furs and the meat.
Okay. Well, if you're looking to sell meat, we definitely we can help you with that. Depending on the the quality of the meat that you bring is how much money you can get out of it. But you can do it. Make some handsome money if you apply your trade properly. If you're looking for tannin work, though, there's about 8 or 9 of them over in Squatter's Plot that are doing quite a bit of tannin.
Well, anyone buy book leather and fur?
That'd be there in Squatter's Plot. You see, we've been trying to get into the trade ourselves recently, but right now it's just it's not viable with that many men doing it. So many men came over from High Mist that were just nothing but hunters, and they've been hunting the lands pretty sparse here lately.
Well, anyone's got free rein in the groves? Clear the hogs from messing the roots?
Oh, that you'd have to speak to some of the families here. Like, I'm not sure if you'd want to do that. But I mean, if you want to, you could. But I'm not sure.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, the thing is, when it comes to the grove, you're looking at working for the Creel, and the Creel, they pay handsome, but they expect a lot. Not that I'm bad mouthing the Creel, mind you. Don't get it twisted here. I'm just saying that the Creel, they have lots of land, lots of plots, lots of farmers. So it's, if you wish to be working for them, I mean, the work is steady, but you might make more money if you go on your own and sell as you need to, but that's up to you.
Aye. Well, I'm just surveying the town. I'm new.
It's wearing plain on your face. Even more plainer than an eye patch that you're new in these parts, but...
Well, the eye patch is better than what's gazing on what's under it.
Oh, that's why you'd wear an eye patch, I would assume.
Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, definitely. Did you want some meat to take with you? Trying to make some sales here, dearie.
Well, I'm not in need of any meat.
Well, if you change your mind, come on back. We have the finest here in town. I myself know a bit of magic to keep the meat nice and fresh for quite a bit longer. So
Wonderful.
it keeps better, and you don't have to turn it into jerky. So come on back when you want to.
Aye, and if I got stuff to sell, I bring it in the front door or around the back?
Bring it around the back. There you'd speak to my husband. He'd deal with it, doing that. He can be frankly, a right bastard at times, but as long as you treat him with respect, he'll do the same.
Well, then we'll speak the same language.
Here's a hoping.
And what should I call your husband?
Well, you can call him Ses.
Can you repeat that?
His name is Ses, love.
S-E-S. And his last name is Love.
Yes, call him Ses, love. That will go over very well for you.
Right. I'll do that.
You'll understand why he's called that when you meet him, but we'll save that for a later time. If you got nothing else, I have other duties to be attending to.
All right. I've got to see a man by the name of Wingren Scissors.
Just that away.
Wonderful. Have a nice day.
Roll me a perception check.
– 17.
As you walk out the door and you close it, you walk past a bubble glass window. So what you see isn't super clear, but you get an idea of, as you watch her pick up one of those packages of meat, you see her raise it to her head, and you see a very clear, almost amber glow emanate from her hand, where her hands touch the meat. And then she places it back down, and at that point you come out of eyeshot of it.
Have I ever seen this before?
You've heard of mage rights. They're people with gifts. This world runs on Achium. As a common phrase is, the wheel of Erroll, everything spins upon the wheel of Erroll. And what powers that wheel is Achium. Because Achium is so pervasive in most areas, prolonged exposure can change people. And those who have it's touched are called either Achiomancers or sometimes Mage Rights. Mage Rights tend to no longer interact with Achium. It's affected their birth. Like a pregnant woman who consistently uses Achium. The child may be born with a change. Some of these changes can be used for good. A lot of them can mimic cantrips even, though they're not usable as much as a cantrip would be. Usually just a few times a day that they'd be able to do it. Some of them mimic even more powerful abilities that can be used. Some mage rights are mercenaries that ply their trade. Other mage rights become Achiomancers and full on delve into that, which has its ups and downs. It has its good parts and bad parts. The threat of addiction to Achium is always ever present whenever you use it. It is a powerful substance, but it is also very magical.
Okay.
Without it, the modern world would not exist.
All right, I walk across the street.
By the time you get there, you see them walking out. He's got a bundle of clothes in his arms as he's leaving. When you enter, probably 30 seconds after they do, you see a red-skinned tiefling with horns that curl around. He has black hair pulled into a ponytail behind his head. Very finely dressed. Looks like it's almost a uniform though. As he sees you, he claps his hands and, "Oh, welcome to Winger and Scissors. How can I help you? My name is Sparkfire."
Oh, you're the second one of you that I've seen today.
Oh, well, you would have seen one just walking out of the shop. Purple bastard. Good man, though.
Well, he seems more of a fucker to me, but...
Oh, bastard fucker. To each his own.
Aye. So, is Mr. Scissors available?
Oh, Wingren. Wingren is in the back of... You need to be speaking to him.
Well, I'm a hunter by trade.
Ah.
I was wondering if you buy fur and bulk leather.
Hold on a moment. Let me see. Let me get him. And he walks in the back. A few moments later, a very almost emaciated looking man walks out. Comes up, looks you very hard.
I look at him very hard back.
I don't know you.
Well,
What you want? So you're a hunter?
Aye. I'm
All
looking
right.
to ply me trade here in Brownwater.
All right. What you got for sale?
Nothing yet.
Oh, turns around and starts walking to the back.
Well, fuck this. I'll be going now.
The Sparkfire goes, "Oh, I see him buy from hunters yesterday. They brought in a whole bunch of furs and stuff, bring stuff. He pays pretty well, I think. He's just kind of an old man. He's a barber, a surgeon, and he does this. I mean,
Well, I'll give him some allowances then. Have a nice day.
if you get an arrow stuck in you by Wildevin, he'll get it out for you right quick. Or if you want that mop on your face trimmed up, he's pretty good at that too."
Well, thank you for the compliment. I'll be seeing you later.
And he nods and goes back to doing basically nothing. As he's just kind of tidying up. Looks like someone went through and touched all the merchandise and moved things around. And he's just going through it, trying to fix it.
Fanny.
So, over to you, Darius. As You make your way closer and closer. Brownwater is a quaint city. It's not the biggest place. I mean, you've been in Flint Forge. You've seen that place. You've seen Solus. You've seen these places where there are hundreds of thousands of people there, just living on top of each other. This is a frontier town. You've seen lots of those too. But this one seems to have just suddenly exploded overnight. It's like somebody threw a grenade of people out of this land and they just sprung up. Most of the buildings that you see are brand new. I mean, you can smell the lacquer and paint on them still. I mean, some of these signs are still drying. But as you're walking down the road to the east, making your way closer, you see what looks to be a solitary general store that seems to be sitting at the edge of a gigantic mud puddle. And in this mud puddle are hundreds of tents of all sizes. Where you see wagons trundling through town and bringing up, that mud that's just kind of deep. It seems like there's so much foot traffic in this other area, there's no solid footing anymore. Every tent that you see is staked on the last little bit that it's got. It's like all these tents are sitting on islands of slightly firm ground, and everything around it is just an ocean of mud that is everywhere. The people that are milling about this are as dirty as the tents that you see. As you grow closer, you can see there is, but in this entire area, the general store, a small, what looks to be a storage building for the general store, and the rest is varying sizes of tents. And there are more people among these tents and milling about in Squatter's Plot than there are in Brownwater 3 times over.
We'll go to the general store to check, see if they have cigarettes.
You walk up. As you walk up, you can see it's almost stock general store. Okay? I mean, this is cookie cutter as it can be. This guy probably saw this type of general store when he was a kid growing up and just built his to look exactly like that. It's a simple building. It's got a flat front facing surface. It's got a hitching post for you to tie up your horses or yole keps. It's got a red front door, a wood brown front door, but it does have 2 glass windows on either side of that door. The building itself almost seems to be slightly tilted. It seems as if the foundation of it isn't quite as solid as it should be. As you open the front door, open it up inside, there's quite a bit of firelight in here to try to, or candlelight I should say, to illuminate the inside of this, even with the morning sun breaking in through the windows. It's kind of sorry looking. There are 4 different shelves. There's 2 on either side of you, and there's what looks to be a cashier station in the back that's got some very old, dirty-looking jars that are filled with probably even older candy that are just piled up on there. There's a single man that stands up as you walk in from a stool that he was sitting on. The shelves of this place have seen better days. It doesn't look like he has too awful much in the way of inventory. As he sees you, he just kind of nods his head, strokes his handlebar mustache, and you can see probably 2 or 3 days of scruff on the rest of his face. His white shirt has been stained with mud that he's probably been touching every once in a while and getting on him, and he's just kind of trying to wipe it off. His vest is just as dirty. He kind of leans on the counter in front of him, and I haven't seen you out around here. How can I help you?
I'm new in town. Running low on cigarettes. Wonder if you have any in stock.
My name is Sean. I do in fact have ourselves some things to make your own cigarettes. We don't do none of that pre-rolled cigarettes here. That's for lazy men. But I got paper and I got tobacco if you need it.
I'll take it.
All right. How much you be needing?
I like to stock up for about 2 weeks' worth.
That'll be a note.
I'll give them 2.
Thank you. What's the other note for?
Information.
Ah, well, plenty of that to be had. Means for it. What can I do you for?
I hear there's some influential brothers running around here.
The Harless brothers. They're as much brothers as you and me are, truth be told. Harless brothers ain't nothing but a gang. And they're a gang that's got a lot of power there in Squatter's Plot. May not be a large area, but there's enough people in there. They got pull, that's for certain.
I've dabbled with people like them before, but normally they're the ones that have a lot of currency flowing through, so I'm looking to see where it's going, if you catch my drift.
Well, not rightly so, sir. You speak a little more plainly for me. I'm not the brightest, sharpest tool out there in that tool shed.
But, so, once upon a time I used to be not that good a man myself, and I understand that money flows where bad men go. And I'm just looking for a little bit of that trickle.
Well, I mean, you walk into Squatter's Plot, you're going to find plenty of bad men. I mean, there's plenty of money in there too, but it ain't spent on what decent folks spend money on.
Do you know where the brothers at least like to reside? Because I like to go for the head of the snake, not for the ass.
Well, if you're looking for Aegon, I would put your nose to the ground and start sniffing for cards. If you know your way around a deck of cards, you'll find Aegon. If you're looking for Delius, well, that's another matter entirely. Truth be told, not many find Delius. He's got a way of finding you, if you catch my drift. Make enough noise down there, and you'll see him thereabouts. There's a few others in the that run with him, but they only names worth much these days. But they do got a bruiser with them. I'd be wary of that feller. It's pretty hefty for a bugbear.
Don't see many of those around these parts these days.
Well, you'll be seeing a lot more. There's quite a few of them working in the mines. They got themselves a whole little collective in Squatter's Plot.
Fair enough. Strong man things for strong work. Thanks for the advice, sir.
He throws down 2 pouches of tobacco and gives you a sheaf of papers, enough that'll easily last you 2 weeks. I mean, he's fairly generous with the portions there. I'm like, hey, you need some again? You come on back. I'll get you again. Remember old Sean, okay? Sean's good to his customers. So don't let what's happening just outside my back door, turn you off. Send some more people my way. I could definitely use the business.
Darius throws down about 4 notes. Why don't you go over to the whole house and forget about the shit going on behind your door. Forget that I came through here.
Well, my hearing's mighty bad, but I'm not much for the crotch itch, if you don't mind me. Decent folk don't tread that way, but I will definitely take this, and these fit nicely in my ears now, don't they?
I reckon they do, sir.
All right, well, he rolls up the money, puts it in his pocket. You have yourself a fine, fine morning, young man, and I hope you find who you seek.
I hope you have a wonderful day, sir.
It's going to be a bright one.
No trouble tread through your doors. And Darius steps out and waits, just kind of sits in the shade or whatever and waits for the rest of them to catch up.
Okay. It takes probably about half an hour or so before the rest of you collect up over at the Ember Inn, the Welcome Ember Inn, which I'll just call the Ember Inn, for brevity's sake. That you guys can collect together. You now, in your change of clothes, looking much more the part for this area. Looking much more like the rest of them, to be perfectly honest.
Now that I'm less conspicuous.
Not quite.
Darius motions for them
Pick up
to...
some mud.
As much as I hate it, she is right.
Well, I can help you look like a dirty one.
That's enough.
As you all collect up, all of you but Darius, go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
I apparently am not paying
Yeah,
attention.
I'm not paying attention at all. I'm too busy laughing at.
A 6.
You are too busy being finger painted on by Cheer to really notice.
16.
Okay.
All an 8 for me.
8.
16.
16.
So the three of you, even though you're finger painting, you look back, and even 3 blocks away, it's pretty easy to pick out that white shock of hair. Even under a hat, you can still see that almost snow white hair as you see Darius kind of posted up in the shade, leaning against the general store. You see him make a motion that you can gather, even from this distance, that he's calling you on over.
I think
Chain
for
smoking
some
as
strange
usual.
reason, I'm less conspicuous than him.
You didn't even see it. You're too busy
Oh, yeah, sorry.
getting finger painted on.
And she just goes like,
What do you think he wants?
Wait, who wants?
Another orc whore?
the light-tipped one.
Well, where did that come from?
Do
What
you
did I
point? Do you
miss?
point him out?
Mm-hmm.
Fionn waves a bit
Lot from
conspicuously.
down there.
I mean, I've got all the time in the world. I got 2 weeks worth of cigarettes.
You see Fionn very
I've got-
conspicuously,
I've got-
hey, from across, you know.
You just see him just like pull a cigarette so he doesn't like break it and just
Check the chamber. Check the other chamber. Walk down the middle of the street.
Okay. As you all walk through, you all cut a very particular figure.
Have
A
you
very
met me?
mercenary set of folks you are. But there is still a lot of people in this place that don't seem to care much about your all's passing through. And once again, now as people are moving about, there is more and more people on the streets. There are wagons that are opening up and beginning to sell their wares for the day, hawking bedpans and hawking boots, and also in mining equipment, wood for building houses. Anything you need. All of these pop-up vendors are here to help.
5 notes, right? I spent 5 notes.
Yes.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna make sure to make my stockpile. Make sure my stockpile of stones is topped off.
Good thing it's not fucking close.
You can pretty easily find some. What's very weird is
River stone.
yeah, the stones you find here are like river rocks, which is odd. And the deeper into a rut you go, the smoother the rock is, which is just so that it doesn't make sense geologically. It does not make sense.
I don't know that.
I'm
I'm an idiot.
Well, that's true. That's true. It's like, woo, river rocks, and it's not a river. Woo! I love it.
You have the same intelligence as me. Shut your poor ass up.
You're both idiots.
Now, Chair, you remember how I know how to send you a message?
Yes. Gal, very annoying.
Yes. I can
So
go in there.
annoying. Chirkit.
Well,
What is it?
I wouldn't be recommending you go in there.
No, to see what it is.
Well, you may be able to look like that, but as soon as you open your mouth, you're going to give yourself away.
No. Gal.
You're worried about me giving myself
Strangely.
away.
You can put a flower
Gal
pot
give
on a horse's
himself
ass.
away.
As soon as
Very
it farts,
easily,
you know what it
actually.
is.
How about I go in there? I sleep in a tent for 2 days. I'll bring you back some information.
How about I go play some cards and bring this back in person?
You know what?
Have they?
They're making their way over. They get within earshot of you where you guys can kind of collect up.
Let's all go in and gather some information and see what happens. Our own various ways.
I
Why?
will grab a hold
I like
of
the words you be saying.
So I grab a hold of Fanny.
Yeah. I'm just waiting until they get close enough to fucking yell.
Just walk straight towards.
All right. At this point, you guys have collected up.
I'm just gonna keep walking straight towards it.
Okay. So you walk past and as I described before, you see it's kind of odd. It seems like at one point this general store was probably the general store, but whatever has exploded behind it has no doubt hurt its business. As the people milling around this area look, it's not a good look. These people look like they are scraping in the mud to survive any way they can.
Not a cloud in the sky, but look at all that shade.
Speaking of the clouds in the sky, the storm looks like it's probably 4 or 5 miles away at this point.
When do you think? When do I think it'll hit?
Go to roll me a nature check.
Yeah. Nature. Okay. I'm an idiot. Why isn't it here yet? Or more like it'll be here next week. I rolled all of a 1.
Well, it's actually kind of tough to tell because the wind is changing direction. It's blowing to the east, then it's blowing to the north. It's kind of weird. But I
It's
mean,
going to turn into a tornado.
You know,
Which
maybe
is
midday, maybe later.
All right. Well, whenever they finally get here.
Oh, they're already there.
All right. So, which of the brothers is we supposed to bring back? Because I got information on both of them.
Darius.
Probably both of them.
Darius
So that one.
can get to him from
You can't.
Akon.
Well, let me speak, little one. So, the one that we're not really trying to bring back, he's easy enough. He's a gambler. So, I know that fellow over there, big old one. He likes to gamble. I'm pretty good with cards myself. We can find him. However, the other one, all you have to do is just make yourself stand out, and he will find his way to you. He's one of those types. So, we could go about this 2 ways. We go play some cards, work our way through the brother, or we cause a stink and draw the other brother. They kind of run things a little bit illicitly around here, so.
As I was
They also have a big ass bugbear, apparently.
a bugbear.
Yeah, a big ass bugbear.
Did they say how long that bugbear's been around?
Or name of bugbear.
Not sure about. I don't know anything about that. I just know he's a big, ugly bastard that likes to beat up people for one of the brothers.
Possibly.
Sounds like.
Either way, I know that big fellow over there might be able to take a bugbear. Man, he is like fucking up in the clouds over there.
No, bugbear nice.
However, you need to stink up a little bit. Maybe smoke a few cigarettes because you still seem a little bit as flowery.
Grab
as
the
ever.
one out of your mouth.
I can
do
fix
the
this.
pot.
Walk into the gym.
Alright, gotta make a willpower check real
Back.
quick.
As you open the door, you have to dig your head in to get inside. You see older gentleman smiling at you. Seems pretty dirty. As you heard my description. Oh, second customer today. How can I help you?
Tobacco.
Oh, I got plenty. How much you need, son?
Mouthful.
Oh, you looking for chewing tobacco?
Yep.
It's a little different, but all right. I got some snuff here too. He pull some up. Just a mouthful. I can't really just sell you a mouthful. I can sell you a pouch.
Mouthful.
Well, it's a note either way. Your choice.
Take some of the lump silver I won from the game. Drop it on the thing.
Ah, that gets you a mouthful. Even for your mouth.
Get a nice fat glob going.
Yeah.
Walk out right in the middle of his shirt.
So, he snatched a cigarette from his mouth, and I failed the willpower save. So, as he does that and takes, you just see the tap, tap, tap. It's like, and he's just staring. Don't get between a man and his habits, or you won't make it long. Especially out there.
You can have the rest of this back.
He snatches his like,
Well, I guess I now definitely look the pot.
Well, no, you don't.
Stick
He
it.
grabs a big hand of mud right on top of his hat.
I'm glad I'm not wearing my nice hat.
Dig a bit out of
That is quite enough.
the. Don't swallow.
I know how to chew.
and Darius was all of a sudden appeased at the suffering of the person who snatched a cigarette.
Wait,
However, you there, pretty boy, you might want to
You see
let the rest of us do the talking,
strangely
and
for
not
a
that
woman.
one either.
Just take 2 fingers of mud and just
Stick out.
right on your face.
Well, yes, I
He
think.
looks good and muddied up at this point.
well,
He stands up the wrong way.
Don't worry, I am more of a listener than a talker, but I can significantly disguise myself well enough to not be a problem.
well, if you can find your type in there.
Oh, I'm sure there's a few tieflings in there, if that's what you're implying.
Aye. So, are we going in as...
Are you implying tieflings or whores?
I don't know if he sells his body for money.
He dresses like a whore.
Only for information.
He smelled like a whore.
He
Sometimes
does
money.
smell like a whore.
Yep.
Well,
Now
are
I
we
do.
going in as a group, or are we,
Yes.
we trickling in separately?
Oh, well, let's go our own ways, not to raise
Is there like
suspicion.
a main entrance?
It's literally
Is there a part wider than other
no,
parts?
it's literally
A
a
glob of
giant
tents.
glob of
They're
tents.
just
Like
tents.
Walk into the glob, find.
The biggest tent, I guess.
You will hear.
the biggest tent is very, very easily seen. It is a gigantic red tent
Go
that
straight to
is
the big red tent.
full of patches. It is about dead center of Squatter's Plot.
You coming, Snowflake?
Listen here, Mama Duke. My name's not Snowflake. Now, if you'd like me to call you by your name, you can call me by mine.
Whatever.
That seems fair.
Mama Duke it is.
No one asked you half that.
Perfect dwarven. Like, perfect dwarven. Just idiots. Idiots. Just
I know.
walks forward.
I know.
Might as well tag along with the big one, though. Draws out.
As you guys slowly
She's
make your way
closer
through,
to you.
it is literally stepping into a mud pit. Walking is difficult.
I'll pick up the
You
little
at
one.
least have a little more tactile sensation, so it's a little easier for you because you're not
I
wearing
I'm not
shoes.
wearing suction
Yeah,
cups.
yeah. But I mean, you guys are.
Just going through it like a snowplow.
I mean, it is. You're sinking up almost to the top of your boots from
Yeah.
your weight. I mean, it is gnarly in this place,
Well,
and there are hundreds of people that are moving about these tents, that are going about their business, doing their own thing. You guys don't catch too many looks, as you feel more at home among these people than you did in Brownwater proper. These people look a lot like you folks. Very mercenary people that are willing to do a lot of things for notes or coin. All of you make your way towards the red tent.
well, before I go in, I tell Chair, don't worry, Chair.
I'm gonna roll for a stealth
I'll
check,
always
not
be there.
exactly
You got
to
it this
hide,
time.
David. I'm gonna roll a
Have
stealth
yourself
check,
some
not exactly to
inspiration.
hide, but more to
But like
blend
to
in.
hide in plain sight type.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Can-
blend in. All right, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Plus 417.
Okay.
I would also be like, like kind of
Go
blend
ahead.
in a little more.
I'm going to try and blend in, but go around
Sorry.
a little ways and then go in.
Okay.
I think I feel
stealth check.
bad for her blending into the mud. I'll just pick her up and carry her.
Hold on, good.
Let's see.
That's gonna be 17.
17. What's passive perception?
13.
So you go to like help her out, and she's just gone.
Alright, I'll pick that one up.
You let him pick you up.
No.
So you go.
No. Just straight.
For some strange reason, I can't be, blendy at all, and I rolled a 1.
The first thing as you decide to walk away from it, as you start walking around the tent, you take a right turn to head in, and you come smack dab. I mean, face in the chest of a very barrel-chested hobgoblin. And you fall on your butt. I mean, right in the mud.
God damn it, pretty boy.
The hobgoblin leans far over to where his stinky breath is blowing into your face as his nose is inches from yours.
He's going to suck his way out.
Watch it, pretty boy.
Oh, he's going to have to suck his way out.
I will.
Stands up, spits right, not on you, but on your, between your legs, and then just saunters off. Probably not, because he went around as you went straight forward, so you probably didn't witness that.
And I'm going to, how long does it, that's an action. Disguise self
Okay.
as a different tiefling.
Okay. Different skin, different horns, different...
Yeah.
This is something that we use to keep better track of our resources, so you can see them dwindling before you. We use cards for spells. Comes in very handy.
Thank you. I know how many first level spells I have, and it's not many.
It's not many. Not a second level. Not a second level. Okay.
Surprise a little.
You suddenly blend in very well. As a very dirty-looking tiefling, how else would you describe yourself?
very dirty looking, no longer sounding so posh.
Well, you disguise your own voice.
Yeah, light skinned compared to before. Very nondescript.
Okay. All right. So like brown clothing and blends in with the mud. You're kind of almost tan skin, but you still have the curly horns. Okay. Which your horns are rare for tieflings.
Do you get friendly with it? Well, familiar with anybody?
So as you're walking through, you suddenly change. As you're walking around, you blend in fairly well. No one really pays attention to you. You catch a few looks just because of the size, but everybody's just kind of this is the place where
This place, I'll sweep the tails back from the coats. The gun handles are.
yeah. I mean, this isn't a place where you're going to run into too much until you start trying to make noise.
Yeah.
Bluster's different, but you're big enough that no one's going to just try to come on.
Yeah.
The rest of you, it sucks to move through. It probably feels good. Ooh, mud between my toes. But it sucks. You can tell that this place is hell, and there's a reason it's closed. Though how they keep people out of it is beyond any of you. There's no gate around it or anything like that, so who knows? As you're making your way through, the sights and sounds are constantly assaulting you as you slowly make your way towards the large red pop tent. When I say large, I mean it's like a circus tent style. Okay, it's big. It's probably 30 feet wide by 30 feet. I mean, it's big. And as you get closer, you can hear very, very poorly played guitar. And as you get closer, you see a sign that looks to be tacked into one of the supports for the tent itself, with a sign hanging that says, beer, gambling. I'm sorry, beer and cards. Beer, cards. That's it.
Do I recognize anything from, because I have the criminal network thing as part of my background? Do I recognize anything?
Not yet. Not until you would not anything on the surface. I mean, you can look around and see a lot of people, a lot of grifters, a lot of cut purses and things like that who were, waiting for an opportunity. But you're not seeing any kind of organization yet. When you start talking to people and investigating, that's when that would come up. It's more obvious to you. He may look at somebody and be like, oh, well, he's just trying to make his way, and you're like, he probably killed somebody this week, So it's a bit different for you. You can catch on a bit quicker, but you're not seeing everything is standing out. So it's hard to pick out one thing that could be where this organization lies.
I feel more at home though, don't I?
And you feel that very familiar, lizard brain, getting your heckles up, that's very familiar. Whether homey is another story.
Walk in the tent.
As you kind of bend down and walk into the tent, it's very dark in here. There are what looks to be old wagon wheels that have had boards that are just hammered into them to create tables littered about this place, with the drive shafts literally just embedded into the mud itself. There's so many people walking through this place. The dirt itself is been slowly tread upon until it's turned into mud. It's not quite as thick as what it is outside, but it is definitely not a place for comfort. There is a bundle of what looks to be boxes and old casks and chests that have been piled up and are being used as a makeshift bar. There are several people who are standing over these handleless mugs that appear to be filled with a very dark liquid that is just kind of swilling it back. At every single table in this place, there are people sitting down playing cards.
Find an empty spot.
Okay. Roll me an a perception check, please.
12.
12? Okay. As the rest of you slowly make your way in, which would be you, and you faster as you two kind of split off a little bit. So the rest of you can make your way in with him. You see the same sight. What are the three of you doing?
I'm going to the same table as him.
So you walk up to the bar?
Aye.
Okay.
I'm going to the same table as him.
Okay, so trying to find the same table? Okay, let me see if there's a table available. Where is that die? There it is. Okay, there actually is a table available that has 2 seats. The rest of the tables are full. Traditionally, this card game is only played maximum 6 people, no more than that.
Dead Man Zone.
I'll go watch them play cards.
Okay.
I've seen these card games played.
You
I'll
get
actually
a
watch them.
lot of looks as you walk through. You see a lot of eyes flicker up from their cards to you and follow your movements as you walk through this place. You go up and
Also
get
keeping
a
a
beer.
sharp eye for predatory chances.
There is
Probably
a
a lot.
very, very large bugbear that seems to be handing out booze. It pours from a simple cask. As he looks you over. You see there's other people who have placed money on the bar in order to get their drinks. It looks like most people have placed a couple of silver pieces.
What you charging?
2 bits.
All right. Here's 6 bits. I want 3.
Fills up 3 and hands them to you.
All right.
And just
Thank you kindly.
and he fills up others. Doesn't say much. People try to make a conversation with him, and he just kind of turns away. Just making sure people have drinks. There appears to be no one serving the tables themselves, and you can see the tables people have like their own bottles and things like that. But there's no waitress going around and supplying anybody. If you wish to lose your seat, you're more than welcome to go get yourself a drink.
I'll bring the 3 to the table.
Okay.
1 for each of us.
Okay. There's no seat available for you, but you can give
That's
one to
fine.
him and one to him. Okay. So he puts a beer in front of each of you, and the beer steins are about this big. They're filled to the brim, though. I mean, 2 fingers for you.
I know, it's not much.
I light a cigarette again. And just kind of like
So-
lean back.
About that time is when the 2 of you went to this place.
Mill around, listening for information.
Okay.
I see the bugbear. Now we'll go up to the bar.
Does the bugbear look familiar?
Yeah,
No.
does it look familiar? Oh.
Does not look familiar. Much burlier. The one that you saw was very well muscled, but was still kind of gangly. This one has no gangliness to him whatsoever. He's not. There's no skinny parts to him. This one doesn't look like he's muscled. It's fat, a lot of fat, but he still looks very strong. And the other one had that weird kind of goofy smile when he smiled at you,
Yeah.
trying to be charming, which would terrify most people. Would just came off as charming to you. This one, there is no charm to this bugbear at all. This bugbear just rubs you the wrong way completely.
I think we just found the fucking big bastard.
And you, so while you're milling about, I want you to go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
You really need to make sure that thing rolls. That
Yeah, I was
thing
gonna
went
say,
kerplop.
roll it
My goodness.
in the tray.
What was it?
A 1.
A natural 1? Okay.
That's 2 in a row.
You are so uncomfortable, just covered with this stuff, and that smell from the dip that you spit on your chest is almost gagging you, and it just all of your concentration goes into that, and you've turned from someone and get pushed face first into the mud, which has the room erupt with laughter as you kind of get up and take the mud and throw it off you, try to rub it off yourself and stuff. As people just kind of, and I mean, you're a pissant to them. They don't care. They go about their business. But at this point, anyone that you get close to try to listen in on, they just start laughing at your presence. Like you're now very much in their focus. So while this is going on, the table that you guys are sitting at is adjacent to another table, the most boisterous table in the place. And the most boisterous of these 6 very boisterous gentlemen appears to be a blue-skinned tiefling man. And he's got one of his horns looks like it has been broken. His horns actually come out and then curl around. The one on his right side appears to have been snapped off almost right at his skull, which must have been bloody painful. I mean bloody painful. He's wearing relatively what would be nice clothes if they weren't just covered in shit because of the place that you guys are in and where you are at. Seems to be pretty good at cards, as he's got a sizable stack of chips in front of him. The rest of the people there, I mean, they're spitting insults back and forth just like he is, but he is definitely drinking the most and gambling the hardest out of this group of people.
Look at the dealer.
Well, the dealer passes.
Look at the rest of the table.
So, where's Aegon Harless? I heard he loses money like whores lose their virtue.
If there was a record playing, there'd be the scratch.
Well, at least I'm not the attention anymore.
And this is after you guys have been there for about an hour.
I'm pretty good at reading the room. I'm an inch away from him.
My casual insight check means I'm gonna back away real quick.
Subtle as a rock in a pond, man.
Brings the attention off of me and allows me to listen better.
As all voices in the place stop for a moment, you hear the creaking of a chair, and next to the blue tiefling is a skinny human man. Seems like he's seen better days. Like he's got some lumps on him. He's got some bruises and things like that. When he smiles, you can definitely see gaps where some teeth are missing. Though the rest of his teeth appear fairly white, like he does at least try to take care of them. He has a blue sash tied about his waist that holds his leather breeches to him, or they're his belt. My brain is. I'm still on medication. Bear with me. He kind of leans back in his chair and looks over at the very loudmouthed Goliath now sitting at the table, and makes eye contact with you. You what?
You heard me.
No. See, I was looking at my cards, and when I look at my cards, my hearing's not so good. So could you say that again, please? And the guy who's sitting next to you seemed just kind of...
Aegon Harless can't play cards. Where is he?
Stands up. At this point, you guys can hear a faint crack of thunder in the distance. And as you look outside, what was a brighter day, you can see is beginning to darken. And that smell of rain now is in the air. You're only off by 4 or 5 hours. He turns back, looks at his cards. It's a shit hand anyway. Puts card on the table. Stands up. Walks over to where you are. He's fairly tall for a human. He still, stands over you as you sit down. Walks up around and stands right next to you.
I'm right. I'm on his left side. So where in position is he to me?
If you're on his left, then he comes right up on his right side. So this guy here just scooted away from him, which gave him room. He walks up and stands uncomfortably close to you and looks down at your cards. Well, that's a shit hand. Only a pair of jacks. And that's what you're holding. That's pretty weak. Definitely want to go in on the next pot. And he walks around, goes up to the bar, and orders himself a beer.
I send him
the guy who pulled away from you, I raise.
Stand up, let my hand rest on the butt.
It's kind of rude to tell somebody's cards to the table.
Ruder still to call someone they don't know how to play cards, especially when that man's not here to defend himself.
If he was here, maybe he could defend himself in a card game.
Well, see, the problem with that is, in my experience, only a weak man goes and shoots his mouth off. Anyone that calls for a challenge like that isn't worth the salt he's made of.
Pretty big talk from a little man.
Sure, little. He picks up his beer, smiles at you with that very, missing tooth smile, and takes a drink, puts it on the table. By the way, it is generous to call it beer.
Peace Wasser.
I mean, if Bud Light could be lighter and lighter and lighter, that's what this stuff would be. I mean, it's almost like yeast in water. He smiles at you like, well, ladies and gents, this gentleman has soured my mood. I think I will find my entertainment elsewhere. He reaches behind the bar, grabs a hat, puts it on his head, and begins to slowly walk out.
Can I mark his scent?
Roll me a perception check.
I send a message to Chair
Guard.
Okay, give me
to
one
follow
sec.
him.
Hey, that is a 17.
17. Yeah, I mean you're fairly certain you could that you could track him, but I mean he smells a lot like everybody else smells here. I mean, it smells like mud and shit and sweat.
There's a lot of ways to cover your scent.
Yeah. So it's tough, but it might be doable. As he begins walking out of the place. So you send a message to Cheer.
Yes, to follow him.
So you hear Callus' voice in your head suddenly pop up saying, "Follow him."
And you've heard this before.
Yes.
Is that quite enough of an insult to be a problem?
Your call?
Alright.
By a menace law, would I be stretching it or
Oh, that's yoga.
that's yoga?
That's yoga.
Maybe so. I'm good at so.
Alright. I'll follow him.
I'm making my way out in Star Trek.
Okay, I'm gonna need a stealth check from you. Are you just literally walking after him?
Well, I'll
or-
see if I can, find a place to go. Poof, kitty.
Okay, roll me a stealth check then.
And I'll try and
I
follow
won't have
her.
a good stealth check until I actually make it into cat form.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's still 15.
Mother checkers. That's a 4.
4.
Do I care?
As
How distracted
as
is
he's
everybody?
walking out, okay, you like slip out, and as soon as you do, you just see his eyes dart down and look at you out of the corner of his vision, and then his eyes flicker to the front again, and he continues to walk.
Can I
I
try?
pick up some random thing off the ground.
Can I?
Oh, I mean, literally eye contact. It looks like he made you.
Yeah.
Can I make this rather loud sound of crickets in his ear?
With what?
Thaumaturgy?
Thaumaturgy?
Yeah.
So, do you stand up at this point?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I
so,
stand up
I
and
mean,
sweep the coat out of the way.
Yeah, so you're standing up as he's walking out. And, okay, what are you doing at this point?
I'll be close enough to back the big one up.
Okay, so you're just you're getting behind him, all right? So you roll a 15, you get out, and he literally turns and looks right at Sheer. You see this happen, and you take that opportunity to get out yourself, and it just, all of a sudden, the poncho and you just kind of melt together, and then form a small little ball of nothing but fur, the same color as the fur all over your body, and then suddenly you're a house cat?
The funny thing is house cats don't have stealth. It's very weird. I was actually going to turn into something bigger than that.
How big?
Medium size.
So like a medium-sized cat still?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're more like a panther.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
so
that was the
a large
profile. That's
cat,
the
yeah.
profile I was using.
And with that stealth check, you just in the shadows immediately. And
I'm gonna ding ding.
okay, so while that's happening, your chair hits the ground, and I mean it. Normally, in a typical bar, that's a great sound. You stand up, your chair screeches, it cracks onto the wood.
slork.
Yeah, and you're like, they can hear that. But it's now just as it hits the ground. Ow, that hurt. As it hits the ground, you sweep out. You have the guns there. What are you doing at this point?
How distracted is everybody?
Everyone, the tension in the room. If you didn't throw a knife hard enough, it would probably stick in the air.
So, can I stack a sleight of hand with my proficiency with playing cards to achieve a winning hand?
That would be rough because the other players right now are literally staring at the table. But you can try.
It's one of those looking anywhere
But, yeah.
the gunman.
And most card players are looking at their hand and like, especially the guy now who knows he has a winning hand.
I raise.
I raise. And the way this is played, it's played very similar to Texas Hold'em. So there's 3 face cards, and then you have your 2 hole cards. And with jacks, there's a jack on the table, so he knows you have a jack on the table, but he knows what he's got's better. So what do you do?
Never mind. Now that I know the information, it'd be too sketch.
Yeah, it'd be really,
I mean,
especially
I have
among
played-
these card players.
I have playing cards on me, and like I can just like sleight of hand it, but too many jacks is kind of sketch, especially since I just sat down.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna
Well, you guys been here probably about an hour at this point.
relatively, but just fold, flop a note on the table, and then stand up.
Okay. What are you doing?
Well, I'm attempting to follow her to try and follow him.
Well, you see him look at her. I mean, it's clear as day that he makes her.
Then I
But
take
you
up
can
following.
attempt this stealth check.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So just put it in here. See?
Oh, okay.
For you then.
Right. That is a 18.
18. He is so distracted by marking cheer that he doesn't see you and doesn't see you. As you all just kind of melt behind him. As he's moving forward, do you continue to follow?
Can I follow him? Or
Uh,
her if I see them?
your passive. What's your passive perception?
Nice enough that it's 11.
Yeah. So you don't see either of them.
But I would send her
I
a
will.
message, letting her know.
Oh no, she knows you're following him, but she
Okay.
doesn't see where you
Okay.
I
are.
will try to follow him, but more like at a distance.
Okay. He's left the tent at this point.
I'm
so
going to
you're
call him
following.
out as soon as he gets to the tent door.
Yeah, he keeps. You call him. He keeps going. Roll me an insight check.
Yay! 7.
7. You're kind of angry, so you don't really get what his angle is here, but he doesn't look like he's stopping.
Pretty sure he's headed out to go get the person I called out. Yeah. I'm kind of
Okay, so you follow.
step out on the street.
So as he begins to follow, he kind of hurriedly
I'm
follows.
going to tell him and blend in with a 15.
15. So you're gonna tell him.
Damn, that's
Kind of stay to the rear, kind of just kind
14?
of let him
Everyone follows.
soak up the attention.
Well, as you're walking out, you get out of the tent and you yell for him. You see him at this point. He is definitely quickened his pace. I mean, you're a pretty tall guy. I mean, you were at a table, one of the tables in the back of the tent. It took you maybe 10-15 seconds to walk outside. And when you get out there, you can see he is quickened his pace, almost like a light jog type deal. And as soon as you call out, you see him look. He makes eye contact again with cheer.
No,
You see him
I'll
turn.
go like a different direction.
Okay. Roll me another stealth check then. And he's going to actively be looking for you.
Obviously, yeah. And then I use that with it, right?
If you want.
Yeah, you can do it after the
You can
roll.
do it after
After
the
the
roll,
roll,
yes.
Yeah, I'd use it.
Yeah, I'm using it.
So roll a d6. 5.
5 plus 7 is
12 plus,
Plus 3.
so 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This time he looks back and look. You can see you get out of his eye line just as he sees looking at the path you were going, but you took a hard left turn. He looks where you were. You see that. His eyes split up to you. He turns and begins full on running.
Parallel.
Okay.
Run.
Can't outrun me.
So who all is giving chase?
I
I'm
am.
backing him up.
So you're giving chase.
Well,
Just staying behind him, or
I'm following him.
do you give chase?
He'll be back.
So you stop.
I go back into the tent.
Okay, so you see that happen. You actually be aware when this happens. So as you stop to turn to get back in the tent, you see what happens before you. with him running, where you all stand now, there are lots of tents. Of the largest tent that you're coming out, I mean, there's just a smattering of smaller tents. Very easily seen looks to be a wagon that looks to have been stuck in this place for God knows how long. I mean, the wheels are sunken in probably 2 feet into mud. Okay. Next to this wagon looks to be a fairly large steel cage. Looking inside, you can't see anything but looks to be shadow. As he makes a break for it, as you yell, he doesn't see you turn away. He turns and just starts running. And as he does, he passes. He goes like he's going to pass the cage, stops, pulls out a hatchet out of his side, and swings at the lock on it. As he does so, he connects, and you hear a screeching sound of metal on metal as the lock breaks. And you hear the door slowly open in the dead silence of outside. And after you hear a drop of water land in the mud, then another, then almost a downpour start, the door slowly begins to push open, and out from the cage you see a large feline creature with 2 tendrils coming out of its back, ending in vicious-looking pads. It snarls, revealing almost alabaster white fangs as the rest of its body almost melds into the shadows around it. And that's what we're going to go ahead and call tonight's game session. So
Right on the edge.
we will be dealing with that at the beginning of next week's game session. Thank you all very, very much for joining us. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. Great start to the first to the campaign. I think got a lot of character development. We have an idea of who some of these people are now, but I think there's a lot to come down the road. We'll see. I mean, with the pages of backstory I got for this, I had my homework cut out for me on a lot of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the world. If you guys have questions about it, please leave comments on the YouTube channel or in the Twitch chat. Please, or Facebook, any of that. Hit me up with any kind of questions you guys have about the world as a whole. Anything that's not story development-wise, I'll definitely answer. I've been working on this world for the better part of 3.5 to 4 years. The world actually predates the previous campaign, but I did take about a year break from working on it. But this is the deepest, richest world that I have ever created. And I once created a world that had 300 pages of backstory. So this one really eclipses that. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed us. Thank you very, very much to our sponsors, Game Vault and Military Gamer Supply. Thank you to David Styles Training. You guys are going to get to see a lot of brand new stuff coming in the very next game session, especially on what's about to go down. Thank you very much to our stream artist, BAPJ Art, or BAPJ Art, or Beta. Thank you very much, Beatrice. We love you. We love the artwork. We're plastering it everywhere. El Paso looks like it's got a gang out there that's just spreading your art all over the place. So we love you. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to send us any art or anything else that you want, or just questions and comments about the campaign, please hit us up. We'd love to be able to interact with you guys as much as possible. Keep you guys involved with the campaign. Thank you so much for joining us for this first game session. Sorry I was a little out of it, but still on meds. I won't be by next week, hopefully. Thank you all again. Keep rolling them dice. Good night, everybody.